Yo, what's up, guys? It's me, Dale Wheatley. How you guys doing, man? Happy Saturday. Oh yeah, you guys, you're in New Zealand, so it's TGIF in in Georgia. You're already living the big life. All right, Angela has decided to join us after all. Welcome, Angela.
Hi. Good to be here.
Bobo's here.
Had to hop off my private jet real quick here, take a chopper to the studio. I'm here. I made it.
Get, like all your people running behind you,
Mm-hmm.
makeup and hair,
Yeah.
wardrobe,
Uh-huh.
stitching the clothes on you as you run.
And I'm like threatening them all, like, you'll all be fired if I'm a minute late. And here I am a minute late, so I guess I'm looking for a new team. Is that what it's like?
Yes.
Is that what celebrities put their people through?
Deanna's giving her best wishes to Bobo. You know, Bobo's battles.
Oh yeah.
I love that, man. Austin has arrived.
What was happening again? I've forgotten.
Oh, we don't need to get into it.
Oh, okay. Well, best wishes.
So, always, of course. How you feeling? It's Friday. You feel good?
Yeah, there's so much I want to talk about. We basically, I feel like this whole episode's going to be a true crime episode.
There's a lot. Well, I got some science.
Is it
for
an
you.
episode? Is that what we do?
Yeah.
Episodes?
Whatever.
This whole life, whatever.
This day.
Yes, this conversation.
I've got some. I got some more science stuff for you because I'm a junkie for that stuff, and people seem to respond well to it. So I got more. I got more really cool science, more gut science too.
Yeah, if we get to it.
I'm wildly curious about all these sorts of things. You know. I think there's a lot of changes happening in the world right now that people aren't really, witnessing yet. But it's going to be major. There's going to be major shifts, major changes, and it's going to be interesting because we're going through this really like terrible time, one of our worst times, and that's hard to believe after living through 9/11 and all these other terrible times. The housing crisis. But here we are. So it's been a very long, and this isn't like like from an astrology perspective, 25 years of strife, or just from a historical perspective, 25 years of strife and difficulty. That's not, or decline. That's just like a dot, but to us, it's, our entire adulthood or whatever,
Well, I think what we're experiencing, like just generally in this country, at least, is it's like the convergence of two speeding trains on a track.
On a single track, heading toward each other, or like
I don't know,
one after the other.
I think they're both working in concert, but I think that we're gonna feel things. I don't know if it's like a collision, but what I mean is, just to like drop the metaphor, is that like oligarchies don't last, right? Like capitalism doesn't last. So what we're dealing with, what we're seeing is, like you said, 25 years. Well, this has been like a progression downwards of late stage capitalism,
Yeah, for the last 25 years.
And so the wars that you're talking about, like they all happened as a result of extractive oligarchs, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also the problem of like I've mentioned this concept before. I think it's so clever that somebody coined the term the imperial boomerang, right?
Yeah.
Where like if your nation is a giant bully overseas, then all the things that you have done to other countries will eventually come and visit your populace at your country, right?
Yeah.
So like 9/11 was both of those things, right? It was like, obviously the powers that be wanted to start a war for their extractive businesses. But then also there was a lot of horrors that were committed overseas that are now sort of blowing back on us, right? Like, yes. So these are just like, what we're seeing is, this isn't coming out of nowhere. Like, if everything's miserable here, it's because everything has been made miserable by us elsewhere for so long. And now it's like finally just affecting us, Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, that's That's certainly, I'm not suggesting, and certainly, yeah, that there wasn't any
It's predictable.
anything appropriate or whatever.
Right.
You
It's
know,
predictable is what I'm saying.
Yeah, predictable.
Like it's not a mystery, but
that's not, that's,
we get to prepare for it though.
I feel like
a
good
lot of
things
other
are
people-
coming is the point I'm trying to make, which is that we are going through this difficult time and that it is dark and it will likely get even darker. But I truly believe, and I'm not just believing it because I got feelings in my bones. Like like some of the science that we're talking about, like these advancements that are going on, the world is progressing, and that progress is going to be impactful. But these oligarchs and their systems and their fucking cancer drugs and all the shit that they're that have brought them all their wealth. It's like wisdom teeth. It's like pulling wisdom teeth. These fuckers are in there, and they're not going to get out easily. They're not going to transition easily. Like the one thing about money is it just likes to stay the course. It's kind of what we're getting as succession, right? I'm
actually super surprised that any of the ruling class or whatever you want to call them is backing Trump, because everything has been so upended by him, right? Like they usually like to have things go like, everything to go normally so that they can continue doing their business the way that they like to do it.
Yeah.
It's weird that there's this big escalation into worsening circumstances and somehow the ruling class is fine with it. It's actually frightening because you're like, oh, what do they know that we don't? What are they preparing for that benefits them?
It's pretty terrifying for
that
sure.
We haven't thought of yet. And then I'm like, oh, right. The premise of Terminator.
The premise of Terminator. So, yeah. I got a little distracted. I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay. This is actually a really good segue to talk about Noam Chomsky, because he is one of he has been for his entire, professor and public speaker and author career has been talking about these problems, these global conflicts and what they really mean, and he's been, I learned today, I was like, what would you call him? Like his politics? Because I'd only just heard people quote him and I was like, oh, this guy's smart.
Yeah.
But then I went and I looked, I have to look this up again because it's so strange to me. Anarcho-syndicalism.
Anarcho-syndicalism?
Anarcho-syndicalism and libertarian socialism. Isn't that interesting?
Libertarian socialism. What was the first one now? That would sound like open up a walnut or something. What was it?
Anarcho-syndical. I mean, this is a link.
Anarcho?
So let me just, I can just read it to you. So this is a link.
Okay, yeah, please.
So Noam Chomsky is known to be an anarchist, but this is a specific organizational model that centers trade unions as a vehicle for class conflict, where basically these people recognize that withholding labor gives you a ton of political currency, that your labor union can be a political force for settling conflict or creating conflict, whatever, to meet your aims. So anarcho-syndicalism is an anarchist movement that centers labor as a motivating and negotiation force. Isn't that cool?
So labor force.
The labor force exists, but anarcho-syndicalism apparently recognize that they see trade unions as both a means to achieve immediate improvements to working conditions and to build towards a social revolution in the form of a general strike, with the ultimate aim of abolishing the state and capitalism. Makes sense?
Well, it shows you, it's clear that there's like a even stronger motivation to be opposed to them if you're on the oligarchical side of all that, if you're on the receiving end of the benefits of exploited labor.
Yeah.
Then,
right.
It's not just the immediate though, there's the whole like existential threat that comes with unions.
Yeah. There's also listed.
Like, it's not just like, oh my God, this is a pain in the ass. Now I got to pay everyone a fair share.
Right.
It's, I'm going to become irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
The people are taking over.
Noam Chomsky is also listed as a libertarian socialist, which I had never heard of before. It's anti-authoritarian, anti-capitalist political current that emphasizes self-governance and workers' self-management. It's contrasted from other forms of socialism by its rejection of state ownership and from other forms of libertarianism by its rejection of private property. So broadly defined, it includes schools of both anarchism and Marxism, as well as other tendencies that oppose the state and capitalism. He is also Noam Chomsky. Just a little bit more about him before we talk about why I'm talking about him.
Yeah.
He was born a Jew in Philadelphia, and he has been a very vocal opponent of Israel, the government of Israel.
Yes.
And Zionism. He also was like really early on. He wrote a bunch of books about anti-imperialism and against the U.S. war effort. So he's just been like a really, really prominent voice, kind of an icon in the most like leftity left movements, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so he's been admirable to a lot of people for his clear-sighted, you know, explanation and his ability to like draw from several different things and create a through line that's understandable. And he's really, really skilled at conveying this to regular people, like on college campuses. He can convey these things to these students and have it make sense to them, you know?
Yes, one of his students interviews him on YouTube regularly.
Yeah.
So I've fallen down that rabbit hole a few times because he has a fascinating mind, you know, to sit and just listen to and really get this sort of the depth of what he's saying after, you know, a certain period of time. Like, you know, I don't know how quotable he is because I'm not
he's also
a Chomsky guy or
yeah,
anything,
he's like really disarming too. He's just like your super smart grandpa, you know? But all this is to say that everybody is absolutely fucking blown away by the fact that there's so many photos that have surfaced of him hanging out casually, comfortably
with the capitalists,
with Jeffrey Epstein,
with the oligarchical capitalists.
So he's on Epstein's plane. He's hanging out with Epstein and talking.
Everybody's a fucking fraud, bro. Everybody's a fraud.
Like, mind is blown.
You just can't. I mean, I remember pointing Chomsky at you and going, "This guy's a fucking real one." And you going, "Yep, that guy's a real one." Like we're sitting there fucking eating all the fucking, you know, drinking all the Kool-Aid this guy's fucking pouring in our cups. And and behind the scenes.
Amazing. Like if you filled out an ad libs about like, you know, like ad libs is that it's a story, but you have to fill in different words, you know? And so if they were like, oh, let's just fill in like the opposite of you know, like the opposite of Jeffrey Epstein or something. I don't know. Like Noam Chomsky might be what you'd fill in. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And so that's wild. It's just like you just can't. And this is for somebody who's who's been so wonderfully coherent about clarifying the class war and what the stakes are and how it pervades everything. It's really fucking shocking to see him on Jeffrey Epstein's private jet.
Well, I also want to tell you that this is sort of by design, right? Because
I mean, I guess if he's on the other side of the class war, he would know, right?
Well, no, what I'm saying is what's by design right now is that Donald Trump's administration it's his Department of Justice. They're releasing the Epstein files. So what do we get today? We got Noam Chomsky. Mm-hmm. We got Bill Clinton. We already know they're there and fry them for what they did. We got Bill Gates, right?
Oh, that's what's happening. So he's just like this is
all about pushing a narrative, which is okay. Like
it's his like selects of the bad people that he wants to.
I mean, he said, you know, Democrats, and here we have, you know, Bill and Melinda Gates, right?
Uh-huh.
By the way, Bill Gates, I didn't know this, but Melinda Gates like split on his ass the minute this shit hit. The minute she knew about it, she was apparently. I'm
Wouldn't
reading.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah,
that's like very relatable.
Well, it's a relief. Yeah, I would. I certainly would. I wouldn't. I mean, yes, absolutely. So anyway, she bolted on this issue. Like she was like, "Whoa, what the fuck? You're hanging out with what guy?" There's some really weird pictures, bro. There's this one picture of Bill Clinton. I think it's the one I put on the thumbnail. It's Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein. They're in like some kind of like shiny pajama or something. I don't even know what that is.
I thought it looked like they were at an Indian wedding or something.
Is that
you know
what
how
it
you
is?
have to wear like silks or something?
Maybe.
Yeah, so weird.
It looked weird. It just looked weird. It was just like an out of place picture for me. Of course, you know, if it had something to do with me, something I'm culturally ignorant to, then, you know, No offense to anyone, and please.
I know, but they were real close.
Excuse
they
my
were
ignorance.
real close and cozy, those two people in that picture.
Super close
Like,
and cozy,
touching.
Mr. Clinton. But we know this, man. He was he was on that jet like dozens and dozens and dozens of times, according to the flight logs. Bill Clinton is almost certainly a PDF file. Almost certainly a PDF file.
What I think is remarkable is that Jeffrey Epstein had all of these famous friends, right? And like, if you think about any social group, there's never one person that can be friends with everybody. Was he really that skilled?
A friend to all is a friend to none.
But isn't that strange? Like, they all seem really, really close with him. Not even just like
with Epstein.
Not even just hanging with him because he's got proximity to power or because he's like in the club, but like they all seem close.
They like revere him.
And so how was he that skilled at that?
I don't know.
Because he looks like a fucking creep.
He looks like a creep, but then we know all these things about him, right? You know?
Yeah.
So did they. Mm-hmm. So did they.
Yeah, so maybe he's in like that club, like more of a club.
There were some really disturbing pictures. One of the disturbing pictures I saw was there were shots, close-ups of what is a female's body. We don't know the age of the woman.
Why? It was blurred?
No, it's just that they're very close.
Okay.
And on them are lines written, sentences out of...
I thought you meant lines like... and I was like,
that was probably another party.
You know?
But these are lines from the book of Lolita.
Oh, are you serious?
Yes, written on
that's
along the back of her neck.
Again, I just like I can't believe that people are thinking uncritically about the writing in Lolita. He's obviously making fun of these people.
Let's not turn it into a debate about that.
No, but it's so funny that even these guys, of course, these guys would be over their heads. They're like, yeah, this book was written for us. No, the fuck it wasn't. This book was written to show how you guys are the worst people.
So that was one of the many disturbing photos. Is another disturbing photo of Bill Clinton with what appears to be a very young woman, at best, a very young woman on his lap. It's very awkward looking, very weird looking. On his lap, arm around him.
Is it his daughter?
No, it's not his daughter. Chelsea. No.
Yeah.
No. Definitely not his daughter. So that's like disturbing for sure.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah. So there's a lot.
I mean, here's the thing: is like I don't care that these people are. I mean, you know, they were never on our side. So I was gonna say like I don't care that these people are on our side, but they fucking aren't. You know. No,
what you're saying is that
I'm not claiming Bill Gates.
You are. There's two parties. There's a Republican Party and a Democratic Party, and you lean to a Democratic Party, right?
If you have to pick, yeah.
Well, I'm picking only because you say our people or their
right. But
us or whatever.
I don't know anybody that would claim Bill Gates as like part of the club. You know.
Well, he's a philanthropist.
Bill Clinton and everything.
He's a progressive. He comes off as a progressive, philanthropist. Now he's just recently, so in ahead of the Epstein file, release. He knows, of course, that Bill Gates does, that he's exposed.
Yeah.
So he just put out that he's going to be donating his entire fortune. I don't know, upon his death or what the fuck, I don't know what, but beyond the foundation itself, his entire lot of wealth that he's been hoarding. It's so funny because these fuckers are all like, they're all like out of life now. They're all like, just belching, just belching and sitting in all their luxury and dripping and with all their fucking nonsense. And they're just sitting around. They're just like, man, I don't need it. They've had it for 40 years, for 50 years, right? They have been a part of the problem for decades, more or less their entire life, right? Their entire adult life. Their greed, right, has put people out of work, out of home, right? And they just say, I kind of had enough of all this wealth, It's just, I'm going to give it away. I'm going to give it away now.
No, it's so much to manage.
Don't.
Yeah. What? Don't what?
I said I'm going to give it away now, and then I was just like, whoop.
Like I was going to start singing.
Nope.
RHCP.
Nope. Don't even put it in my head. All these people are all old and shit, and they're showing up, who have been hoarding money, like Leo, he's not done yet. Leo, he's still like, I need more. I have to have more. I open this foundry and this and luxury watches, and I must have it all. I bought an island. Isn't it every man's dream to own an island? I have one. Ha ha. I'm never on it, but I own it. It's my island.
Is it not your dream to own an island?
No, it's not my dream to own an island. I have no dreams on acquiring islands. No, I wouldn't mind visiting them. You know, if I'm ever lucky enough to own a house, maybe I would buy one on an island if it's the right island for me. But I don't need to own an island. No, I have no desire.
Well, that's
to be
okay.
like an island owner.
I will own the island, and then I will allow you to visit.
Owning an island sounds a
On
lot
my
like
private
owning
jet.
a yacht. You know, like. It seems like a good idea, and then you're like, fuck, this is expensive.
Yeah, you're like, how am I supposed to get plumbing to this place?
I need a helipad. Now I need air traffic control.
Oh, the air conditioner's busted. How am I going to get somebody to service
Medical for all.
this? Hey, so do you want to move on? Because I have something I want to talk about.
Well,
That's exciting.
I don't know if we're done with the Epstein files yet. No. Are we done
Yeah, sure.
with the Epstein files?
No, nobody's ever done with the Epstein files. Apparently, they've dragged it out. They were trying to bury the story, but now they've
Right, I'm
managed to
not done
drag it out over fucking a year. You
Somebody,
know?
somebody's quoted as saying that female bodies were their currency
Yikes.
with regards to Trump and Epstein's bond.
Yeah, well, I don't doubt it. These people.
So,
You don't think if they could, they'd be slavers, you know?
yeah.
Of course.
So that was also another very interesting and sort of strange thing to come out. Yeah, I feel like I'm getting pushed off the topic. So go ahead, do whatever.
No. I just thought that no, go ahead.
No, go
You're not
ahead.
getting
You go
pushed
ahead.
nowhere.
No, you go ahead. No, you go ahead. No, you go ahead.
This week was a very exciting week for conspiracy theorists.
Was it
Yes, they have had a lot of tasty things to chew on this
to
week.
conspire
Mhm.
about?
Okay, so I don't know. I actually haven't been able to figure out. I know it should be easy to search, but the Brown University shooting.
Yes,
Do you know what day that was? Because
not particularly.
after the Brown University shooting, there was a professor at MIT that was shot. And I don't know if it was like 2 days later or whatever. It's the same week. Okay. So here's what happened.
Big shoot 'em ups at colleges. I mean, that's America. That's America.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
That's what we thought.
America.
Okay. So check it out.
Yeah.
So the MIT professor that was shot. Okay.
Yes.
His name is MIT physics professor. He was killed at his home in Brookline, Massachusetts. His name is Nuno Loureiro. Okay.
I remember reading about this, glancing at it though.
That shooting was 50 miles away from the Brown University shooting, right?
Okay.
In Providence. Okay. Oh yeah, so that was on Monday. Well, people learned about him. He's a professor at MIT, and obviously they were very suspicious because he has been working. Let me just pull this up.
You got Deanna like licking her chops for this one.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay, so he was a researcher at an Institute for Nuclear Fusion in Lisbon, Portugal, before joining MIT. Okay.
Okay.
The office of the Portuguese president, Marcelo de Souza, also put out a condolence statement. He said, an irreparable loss for science and for all those with whom he worked and lived. He was just targeted at his home. Okay. He said that he hoped the MIT professor who was killed, he said that he hoped his work would shape the future. When he was named to lead the plasma science lab last year, okay, he said, it's not hyperbole to say MIT is where you go to find solutions to humanity's biggest problems. Fusion energy will change the course of human history. So when this guy alone in his house is targeted and shot and killed,
Yeah.
of course the conspiracy theorists are
Yeah.
like,
The oil, whatever.
okay, yeah, big oil doesn't want somebody who's going to discover the next clean energy, right? Like, all these people are getting whacked because you can't let this science progress. Okay,
I mean, it already kind of happened.
that's
though.
the conspiracy.
Yeah, I know, but it's weird because it already kind of happened, right? Because they went to temperature I think it was in France, I told you about it. Like literally, they got it. It's hotter than the sun. That's how hot the test was, and it was a successful test. And that's the beginning of fusion energy. Literally, fusion energy will it'll power like the entire planet for like 50,000 years.
Okay, so this is what he was working on at the time. Okay.
Yeah.
Loureiro, he joined.
Tell me this isn't fucking NHI reverse fucking shit, bro.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so he joined MIT in 2016 and was named last year to lead MIT's Plasma Science and Fusion Center, where he worked to advance clean energy technology and other research.
And by the way, fusion energy is like zero emission.
I know. And this is a massive center. Okay. Yeah. The center, one of the school's largest labs, had more than 250 people working across 7 buildings when he took the helm of it.
Wow.
He was a professor of physics and nuclear science and engineering. Okay.
Smaller than Sony, but yeah.
And then he was targeted. And everybody was like, oh, okay, well, obviously we know why.
Right.
Okay. But it turns out
yes,
that thanks to a tip from a random homeless guy at Brown University, they identified, because he witnessed this man acting very strangely and told the police about it. The guy who did the shooting at Brown University is the same guy who drove 50 miles and then executed this professor.
He killed the professor?
Yes, apparently they went to the same school in Portugal.
Really?
Yeah, the shooter and the professor were classmates in Portugal.
Well, what the fuck is that?
I know, you know what I mean?
Well, wait, so like who was killed at Brown?
It was just a random shooting.
It wasn't notable.
No, there was like an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, and a bunch of people injured.
It's like students and shit, right?
Yeah,
like just
super
mass
sad.
Killing nonsense.
It was really weird too, because a lot of the students were already on Christmas break, so there wasn't a bunch of people on campus.
So what's the conspiracy then? If on the one hand,
well, the conspiracy now is that he's a patsy. The conspiracy now is that somebody created a violent offender to cover up how this guy was actually targeted for being a fusion professor. That's the conspiracy now, right? I don't believe it, but like,
it's absurd.
I know.
That sounds patently
absurd.
absurd.
And that the shooter has been found deceased, so he can't even tell the story.
Yes, he's deceased.
Yeah. So there's nobody to charge with the crime, nobody to interrogate, nothing. Isn't that crazy? I thought you'd like that, but there's more, because the story about how this how the Brown University shooter was identified is actually really thrilling. Now, did you know, because you lived in Hollywood for so long, isn't it a thing that like if you went to Brown University, you've got a job in Hollywood?
Yeah, there's a Brown club.
There's like a big Brown contingent.
For sure. Brown, Yale, Juilliard.
Okay. This is the account of how the homeless man, who the authorities are calling John, or maybe that's
NYU. UCLA.
So, so this story for sure is already being written. Like they're like wearing out their keyboards right now in Hollywood to tell this wacky, strange true crime story. Okay.
Yeah.
So this apparently is the account of how how the homeless guy at the Brown University, he reportedly was a graduate from Brown years ago, but he's now homeless, and so of course everybody's saying, well, Brown needs to, reward him and put him up and restore his life.
At least pitch him a tent, huh?
Yeah.
Will you do that? Will you pitch him a tent?
So how this guy who's being called John, I don't know if that's his name or not, but the authorities are calling him John. Okay, how he helped the investigation is really incredible. Thanks to Steve Lookner on Twitter for posting this part. Can I read this to you?
Okay.
It's like a true crime mystery thriller. Okay.
Please do.
On December 17th, Providence police released still images of the then unknown person, later identified as John, interacting with the suspect at approximately 14:16 so that's the afternoon?
2.
2:16 p.m. on December 13th in the area of redacted Benevolent Street. On the evening of December 17th, a male suspect approached Providence police officers where the Brown University Alumni Hall building is located. The male subject identified himself as John and as a Reddit poster. So he posted on Reddit and tipped off the police, but then he was talking to them. Okay. Mm-hmm. John's full identity is known to the Providence police and to your affidavit. John indicated that he wished to speak with Providence police about his interactions with the individual that they had publicly identified as a person of interest. That person of interest is being referred to throughout this affidavit as a suspect and is featured in numerous below surveillance video photographs, which I don't have. John did not refer to
I've
this.
seen them. He's
He's
such an average looking dude. He's
Yeah.
like just a guy like you're standing next to, he's standing behind him, at the fucking gas station,
So they matched John's description of this guy and the video so that they know they're talking about the same person. So this homeless guy, John, voluntarily accompanied police officers to the station where he agreed to a recorded interview. At the outset of his recorded interview, detectives reminded him that he was free to leave at any time and that he was there voluntarily. John expressed that he would provide all the information he had on the individual. John recounted that he first encountered the suspect inside a bathroom on the ground floor of the Barris Holly building, immediately to the right of the entrance of the building on December 13th, 2025, at approximately 1:45 to 2 p.m. John described the suspect's clothing as inappropriate and inadequate for the weather. Specifically, he described the jacket and gloves as flimsy. He described the clothing, including the jacket, as baggy, with at least 2 undergarment shirt layers, one of which has a branded style logo at the bottom right corner. John believes the logo was name brand, possibly LL Bean. He described the pants and shoes as kitchen restaurant worker style, of poor quality, and would have been, sorry, I can't read that part. He thought that it looked like it was Walmart. John cast no judgment to the quality. I don't know why they included that. It's cute. John described large face mask covering the entire lower portion of the suspect's face. He believed that the suspect was wearing glasses. John described the suspect's skin as weathered and a cinnamon color complexion. He believed that the suspect's eyes were brown and his face appeared to be chubby. From the interview, there were several instances where John made eye contact with the suspect or stood in close proximity to him. The initial encounter involved John locking eyes with the suspect. After this initial encounter, John observed the suspect exit the building into the parking lot. John remained at the entrance until he observed the suspect go up Manning Street and then followed him. John then described an encounter with the suspect near the Historical Society. He watched the suspect approach a gray or silver sedan bearing a Florida registration plate. John assumed the suspect had a key fob because the lights of the Nissan lit up as the suspect approached, as if the vehicle was being unlocked by a key fob. The suspect suddenly turned around from the vehicle and walked in the opposite direction, taking a left at the nearby intersection. John stated that the suspect looked at him like he knew him. John approached the sedan and observed 2 fanny pack-style bags in the rear floorboard of the passenger side. John remained at that block and observed the suspect looping back to the area and then switching directions every time they saw each other. John described his patterns as a game of cat and mouse between himself and the suspect.
What the fuck?
I know. At some point, they encountered each other on George Street, at which time the suspect ran in the opposite direction. John then ran up behind the person of interest, slowed to a speed walk, and walked past the suspect. John then turned to face the suspect. John estimated that they were standing approximately 2 feet away from each other. John asked the suspect, "Your car is back there. Why do you keep circling the block?" And the suspect responded, "I don't know you from nobody." Then the suspect repeatedly asked, "Why are you harassing me?" During this exchange, John detected a cadence or accent to the suspect's voice he believed to be Hispanic. John saw the suspect approach his car one more time, but then John continued on to a different street and did not have any subsequent encounters with the suspect. He told the detectives that he recognized the person from their posts looking for the suspect, which prompted him to post on Reddit. They showed John 2 images from those flock cameras that they had obtained of the suspect's vehicle. When viewing the images, he said, "Holy shit, that might be it." Then presented with a still of the video surveillance obtained from the Alamo rent-a-car described below. Sorry, I don't have that. Of the male renting the suspect vehicle that was a close-up of the clothing. John could not say for certain if it was the same logo that he saw on the person of interest, but it was the same location. John did indicate that the stomach makes him think that it's him. He did not recognize the bright blue shirt in the Alamo video. Anyway, that's all I have. That's obviously like a police report or something.
Yeah.
But isn't that cool that he was like, had this cat and mouse with the guy? The guy's like, "Dude, I'm trying to commit crimes. Like, this homeless guy keeps following me around and fucking it up." But he's the guy who cracked the case. And so they could track, because of his car and they know his rental, they could track his identity, and then they found his whereabouts. Then they found the storage facility where they found his body. But I'm not sure. They're still not saying how they linked him to the MIT, except that they went to school together. So they know that he's responsible, but they're not telling anybody. Like, they're not publicizing. The investigators
That's some crazy shit.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah, I mean, it's super juicy. it's crazy. It's so crazy. And it's like frightening, big oil and, I mean, I don't know. It sucks that we're subject to, or that we're living under the oppressive oligarchs, like the idea that fusion energy is around the corner, but that it might be scaring an industry so much that it'll execute those who are working on it. But I don't think they can take out one guy and make a difference. Fusion's a big deal. It's a big deal in France.
This lab has 250 people working across 7 buildings.
Yeah, so I'm saying like those people are filled with people who
they all know the story.
Yeah, like they're like at various levels. They bring together all the experience that the collective experience. So, and that's just there. There's a bunch of fusion people all over the world. The whole world is chasing fusion right now.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing. Yeah.
It's the biggest thing. It's going to change, the world like completely. But, until then, do you want to hit the chat?
Yes. I just thought that was so interesting how
he
was just like,
thank you for sharing it.
If it wasn't for that guy, everybody's like, they're like, if the university isn't going to reward him, then everybody's going to put together a GoFundMe. He's going to get taken care of. Because that was awesome that he was just like, this guy's acting weird. I'm going to follow him.
Yeah, totally. Weird.
Austin saying, damn, Noam, damn.
Exactly. It's the saddest
Disappointing.
thing, man. It's just, man, greed is just everywhere. And if you don't have greed, then you just kind of, you might be left behind, just in general.
A scientist has a question for you.
Okay.
What's going on here? A scientist wants to know, do I want a mocha or a caramel latte today?
Oh.
Brain doesn't want to make decisions.
I mean, I'm always going with mocha.
Always with a mocha.
I'm always going mocha.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Caramel's good once in a while, but, it's so sweet. Yeah. Yeah.
You're in a good mood today.
Me?
Yeah, it's really cute.
I'm all right.
You're all grinny. I think it's because we went Christmas shopping today, so we were like frolicking around in the store
with our masks on.
We don't get out much.
All these people staring at me. There was this kid who was like looked at me like I was a fucking like a different creature altogether. Like,
because you were wearing a mask in public.
Yeah. I was wearing a mask, and they were just like, "Whoa!" Like I was coming to invade their land.
Yeah.
Our scientists just made us aware of what is this? This is what is this specifically? It's heavily redacted. What it is?
What's redacted?
This is Blake Lively moving for an order of imposing sanctions on 2 of defendants' attorneys. Do you want to hear it?
Yes.
Yes, dated today to the honorary.
Fucking get their asses.
Louis J. Lyman. Judge Lyman. Plaintiff Blake Lively respectfully moves for an order 1 imposing sanctions on 2 defendants' attorneys, Brian Friedman and Kevin Fritz, for conduct that impeded, delayed, and frustrated the fair examination of one of their designated experts, Nicole Alexander, during her deposition on December 15th, 2025. Deposition, blah, blah, blah. Number 2, compelling Miss Alexander to sit for an additional deposition of up to 1 hour, supplemental deposition, to answer questions that Mr. Fritz, redacted, assuming all reasonable fees and costs for the supplemental deposition to opposing counsel whose conduct necessitated this relief, and for awarding plaintiff half of its reasonable expenses and attorney's fees incurred in connection with the deposition of this motion. And this motion. Opposing counsel's improper behavior began less than 20 minutes into the deposition. Miss Alexander began to testify, very long redacted, very, very long, basically the testimony. And then it picks up several paragraphs later, almost a full entire page later at least. Because this behavior is part of an ongoing pattern of deposition misconduct, the court should sanction Mr. Friedman and Mr. Fritz for redacted. And then a whole bunch of case precedent.
Who was the witness? Do you know?
The witness was Alexander, Miss Alexander.
Is this one of the experts?
This is a delay. Hang on. Yes, it was an expert. Nicole Alexander, one of their experts. One of their designated experts. I gotta like bust out some funnies with you guys. This type of, so here it is. This is the last paragraph.
Bust out some funnies.
Yeah, about all this. I'll tell you in a second. This type of disruptive behavior by opposing counsel is part of an unfortunate pattern. Throughout discovery, multiple defense counsel insisted on making speaking objections, often in deposition they were not in a deposition they were not defending, and consuming time on the record to demean and orate. Miss Lively's attorneys consistently asked opposing counsel to stop, including by letter on September 29th, 2025, highlighting then inappropriate and unprofessional behavior, close quote, such as referring to a question as redacted, laughing on the record, and complaining that redacted. That does not redacted. Despite attempting to resolve the issue, the conduct continued. See Exhibit 4 at 386394, lengthy improper speech offered with 9 minutes of questioning remaining by a member of defendant's witness team, who again was not defending the deposition. Accordingly, the record amply supports the imposition of sanctions in connection with the deposition of Miss Alexander. They're just like obstructive motherfuckers, you know?
Speaking objection is really interesting, where they're like trying to get something onto the record, but just so they can quote it to the jury or whatever, right? Is that what that's alleging?
I'm not sure. I imagine that they're making the objection, which is they made objections all through my deposition. So I don't know how much has changed in 30 years or whatever it's been. But when I did my deposition, as you read.
But did you ever hear any of the attorneys laughing? Or like it sounds like they're doing like ridiculing
in the elevator, maybe
on the record. I mean,
no.
So it sounds like they're ridiculing the witness too.
Well, look, I mean, this is interesting because,
it's such weak behavior.
Yeah, it's well, and this is the thing that Brian Friedman is known for. He's known for being a bully. He's known for being, I mean, we saw the Vin Diesel nonsense, So there you go. What else you got? That's crazy. You got more conspiracies?
Me?
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, scientist.
Oh no, that was a scientist. Yes.
No, I was asking if you.
That was I was just talking about how the conspiracy theorists are having a blast this week.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what the true story is. Because the story on the record is so weird.
It is.
Who is this guy? Why did what is his motive?
Yeah.
Is he the only person? The authorities seem to think he is, but are they just saying that? That's how they're going. Shannon O said, I'm a conspiracy theorist, and John sounds suspicious. Yeah, why was he there at the time?
The homeless John?
Yep.
He misses Brown. Said he was a graduate, right?
Yeah.
He's probably like, those were the best years of his life. I don't know.
Deanna's in the chat talking about how she has a trial in March, serious injury from DV.
Oh my.
And says she cannot work, and she has a brain injury, and she's in recovery. And it's really great that you're able to attend rehab, but hopefully everything starts to improve a little bit so you feel strong in March.
Well, that's terribly upsetting. I'm so sorry that you went through that in life.
Yeah. Deanne said he's charged with 9 counts.
I hope he goes to jail forever.
Yeah.
I hope he goes to jail forever.
Yeah, all of this is going to result in you saving everybody from this person. He's for sure. Yeah, I think they'll prevail for sure.
I just can't believe you've gone through that, and I just hope the best for you, and I hope this guy is going to get thrown in jail for the rest of his life. I mean, if he's caused you that much harm, I just, I mean, I don't know what the law allows, but I just hope that he gets thrown away for whatever the law allows. If it's the rest of his life, so be it. If it's 40 years, so be it. 20 years, whatever it is. But I hope it's a good long time.
Austin is sharing the story about how Austin had a stalker with hacking skills that were like NSA level. The whole experience, Austin said, made me realize the police are not on my side because the cops were talking to me like they wanted to star in my Dateline episode. That's crazy.
It's just.
They just make something.
It's been one of those days where I'm just sitting around and like, there's no hope. Like it just feels hopeless, and I don't want to feel that way. And that's why I'm going to always be trying to find, little strings, ropes of optimism somewhere. But it it feels, when you look at the Epstein thing and, you hear Deanna and her plight, like, how can you harm anybody to that extent, let alone somebody that you can, that you tower over, what I mean? Like if I get into some kind of violent act, which me, I would never, but if I got into like a violent act with somebody who's also, 6 foot-ish and 200 pounds and whatever, then that's that, but if you're like sitting there and like beating on children or women or smaller people in general, man, it's terrifying to know that these people exist.
I mean, I think their brains are broken.
Obviously.
When you're like, I don't know how. Well, it's because you can't relate, obviously, because you're functional. It's like so I wanted to talk about some big revelations that have been happening. I think maybe this information is coming from Nick Reiner's defense team. I don't know who is sharing this information about his medical history. Other than his defense.
It's certainly
team.
Coming from Alan Jackson did a press conference.
He did a press conference, but he was only vaguely talking about how there's
so they leaked it out. I mean, it's clearly that it's a leaked out situation. I mean,
okay.
This is obviously very clearly the defense doing it.
Yeah, it is a really sticky situation. So here's the scoop. Okay. So apparently Nick Reiner had been diagnosed schizophrenic. He had apparently been in and out of rehab facilities like almost 24 times. It's just from the age of 15 to 19. But in the most recent years, he was on medication and they were struggling to manage the medication because it was resulting in really erratic behavior.
This is especially true recently.
Yeah, just in the last few weeks, apparently they were adjusting his meds, trying to get him more stabilized, but it wasn't working. And what's really shocking to all of us, I guess, because we're not in this like level of predatory rehabilitation facilities and also the elite people that can pay for those. Yeah. But apparently the Reiner family was spending $70,000 each month.
No, well, they only did 1 month. So it was a $70,000 a month bill. Yeah, incredibly expensive. It's where all the stars kids go.
But that would be inpatient treatment, right?
It was 1 month of inpatient treatment.
Okay. And so Nick Reiner was an outpatient.
Yeah.
And it was really remarkable that to me that they have apparently.
Well, no, he went and did a month.
Yes, I understand.
Okay.
Apparently, I learned today from there was some doctor who made a video for TMZ, right? Did an interview.
He did an interview, yeah.
And it was really clarifying where they're talking about when you have somebody who is you're trying to treat them for schizophrenia, they have a mental illness like this, and they need to respond to medications, but they're also addicted to a highly addictive drug. You actually have to have them in an inpatient facility for at least a month to detox completely before you can even begin to assess them for their mental health problem.
To do any psych evaluation.
It's really interesting. Yeah. So they're like, if the person who's an adult and has autonomy, if they don't want to comply with that much time in a treatment facility, the practitioners are actually really, really limited about what they can do for the person because they can't properly assess them because the drugs are having such a detrimental effect on their mental health. They can't even see where their baseline is.
And why that's important is because if you go ahead and you diagnose somebody with schizophrenia, but they have, this meth problem that can create hallucinations and otherwise,
right.
If you have this very serious drug-induced psychosis that's building and growing within this individual, and then you go ahead and you start prescribing them drugs on top of the fact that they're already using
abusing drugs. Yeah,
they're abusing drugs. So now you're introducing antipsychotics and other kinds of medication, which you know, to my absolute just surprise, 30 fucking years ago, whatever it was, when I learned that these drugs have a tendency to have these terrible side effects that include suicidal ideation, homicidal thoughts, like all kinds of crazy things can happen to people who are on these psych drugs as a side effect to their psychology. And I'll tell you that it's interesting. Of course, you know, Alan Jackson steps into the role. It sounds like they're gearing up for an insanity defense. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull something off like that. I think the best thing that they can hope for personally is to avoid the death penalty here. And I think that the DA might want to leverage that to try and get the deal that they want out of this kid. But the problem that this kid has is, first of all, he's 32 years old, so he was an adult and he was acting on his own volition. Secondly, there's going to be part of his psych evaluation is going to be whether or not he understood right from wrong at the time that he committed the murders. I have a hard time believing they're going to be able to prove that he didn't understand that what he was doing was wrong. I'm going to have a hard time believing that. But we'll see.
I also learned today, it was really interesting that if you want to, an insanity defense, because you're schizophrenic who's being medicated and it's not your fault that your medication is making you delusional or even enraged or whatever, right?
Yeah.
If you then are using substances like meth or whatever he was on, if you're using street drugs, then that actually negates your insanity defense, because then you're doing something to incapacitate your thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a real challenge for his defense attorney, because he's not just somebody with a mental illness. He's somebody with a mental illness who has chosen to use drugs that exacerbated. Yeah.
Yeah, look, it caused everything to go completely spiral out of control. At least potentially, that's what they're going to want to try to present. But if this guy is using drugs illegally and addictively, I don't think you're going to get an insanity defense out of that. I think you're going to get.
I don't think you can, because the drug aspect. Another thing that
in the same way that this gentleman who runs this treatment center that was on TMZ, I don't know if he's a doctor or what he is, but he certainly is a rehab specialist of some kind.
Yeah, he sounded like a doctor too.
When he talked about the patients having to go through their detox and be completely free of any dependency to any other drug, I think that they're going to have a hard time. Jackson's going to have a hard time trying to convince a jury if it's even going to get to a jury, let alone a jury, convincing a judge that this guy's own behavior wasn't the issue. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Alan Jackson did in his press conference. He suggested that this was a systemic problem that resulted in this. So what I think he's going to do is talk about how he was under he was under the care of the offender was under the care of doctors, and how his case was being mismanaged. Here's the thing: if a doctor is saying these medications
not guilty by prescription, I don't know.
No, what I'm saying is that like he's. He was being medicated, and it was resulting in side effects that made him erratic and have like rage issues, whatever, propensity for violence. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then because he's an adult who gets to make his own decisions, the patient was then released because he was refusing to do inpatient treatment.
Right.
He wanted to be outpatient and live at home. And that was the deal that his parents had made with him. The only way he was ever going to go through any of this treatment was if he got to stay out of a facility.
Right.
But of course, that means that he can just play the systems. So he's in the facility for just long enough to get out, and then he immediately relapses because he's not interested in recovery. And so what it means is that these psychiatrists who were managing this guy's mental state, right?
Yeah.
And recognizing that he became dangerous, was releasing him into the care of his 77-year-old father and his wife, his mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why? I don't understand why there wasn't some sort of mandated sort of like supervisor or some sort of like care personnel that could help protect those around him during his outpatient treatment.
I think probably because there needed to be a psychotic event. Like I told you about, me dating that girl who I was not aware had major psychological issues. I don't know what they were, but probably something to do with schizophrenia and probably more. But I told you the story. We were walking home. We were walking around at one point, and I saw these crows, and I just read an article about how crows communicate with knocking, and they were
Yeah,
knocking.
right.
And I said, those fucking crows are talking right now. They're like speaking a language right now. That sent her into an event that eventually led to her hospitalization.
So you pointed out that crows were talking to each other.
Yes.
And she couldn't deal with that information.
Correct.
Because she was mentally ill.
Yes.
And it made her spiral.
And she spiraled and disappeared for 5 days. I didn't hear from her for 5 or 6 days. She was 31 years old. Okay. I never heard from her for 5 or 6 days. Then I'm like, I get this text, the hey text, hey. I'm like, oh, look who's here. What's going on? And then she told me everything that happened because she was now on her meds.
Oh.
So she was like,
God.
they got, so in that instance, so what I didn't know was that I left. I had this really crazy moment with her. I was sitting in her apartment after we walked past these crows and we had this moment and everything changed. Like
her mood changed.
The energy around her changed so much so that I felt it while we were outside and some distance apart. We got to her apartment. We were just sitting around and then she kind of just tilted her head in that in a disturbing way, that way that is so intimidating. And she just went, Dale, are you the devil?
Oh
and I got scared. Like she scared me.
Yeah, of course.
Like at that moment, I was just frightened by because she
was serious.
Because she was serious. Like the look on her face was so dead serious. Of course, I said, I'm not. And then I quickly got out of there. I mean, within...
if I'm frightening you, I'm just going to leave.
Seriously, within 10 minutes, because everything changed so much. And then when she tilted her head and asked me, two things happened. She told me about a fly. There was a fly, and she told me that fly was collecting data.
Oh, that it was like a little drone?
Yeah, and I was like, oh boy, this is getting troublesome now because this whole thing happened and now she's telling me a fly. This all happened. She was perfectly normal until I said, the crows are knocking.
Yeah.
And having a conversation.
I mean, yeah, there's no outside way to tell that their brain chemistry is deluding them.
An amazing thing to witness, I'll say that. But where I was just going, if I may, is that she was 31 years old. When I left, she went completely undone. Like apparently... They called an ambulance.
Who's they?
Her neighbors. Her neighbors, and then her father came in. Like I think the neighbors called the father.
Oh man.
He I guess knew about her mental health history, whatever. He showed up and he had her committed. And this is what I'm there. And so I'm sorry for this long story, but I'm going there because I'm like,
I know.
Why the fuck didn't this kid get psychiatric help?
I saw a comment where somebody was like, you could just 5150 a person who's being acting super erratic. And
because there's reports of this, right? Like apparently he was acting really fucking out of sorts.
I think that he
was brought to the party because they were afraid he was a danger to himself and to possibly other people.
I think apparently he was like trashing he was in a little guest house and he would trash it constantly. Yeah, it's a super strange situation and really obviously unfortunate. And I don't think that if Alan Jackson wants to make a point in court to support his client that he was failed by the system, I think it's probably going to be a very solid argument because everybody in that family was failed by the system. That doesn't. I mean, here's the thing: is like there's a huge. I don't
know if he's going to get his client off.
No, it's not. But it's a huge ethical quandary, right? Because if you are dealing with an adult person who should be able to, have autonomy, right?
Yes.
About their, and enjoy freedom, but they're a danger to themselves or others, or somehow can't function properly and care for themselves. At what point are we as a society accepting of people being institutionalized, And then obviously that could be used to just simply put people away that don't deserve it. How do you determine who deserves it? I went looking for the statistics too, because I feel like this case is so high profile. It's a really, really easy way for people to demonize schizophrenia and that kind of mental health issue.
I don't know if that'll happen here. I don't,
I think people are really quick to do it because it's.
I mean, there might be some who do, but I think in the end,
people love to pile on disabled people. So I went looking for the statistics, and apparently, only 10 to 15% of schizophrenic people have any history of violence, and they're far, vast majority more likely to be susceptible to violence from other people in their communities. And it reminded me of this police officer who was recently he was convicted. Do you remember the story of Sonia Massey?
Her name's familiar, but I don't remember the story.
Sonia Massey was a 36-year-old Black woman. She was a mother. She called the police to her apartment because she thought someone was prowling outside her house, and she was living alone because she has, she's a mother of a older kid, who's out of the house. Okay.
Yeah.
So the police come and she's in the middle of cooking. She has a pot of boiling water on the stove and 2 police officers enter her unit and start talking to her. And they're being really rude to her because she's very frantic. She's really stressed out about this prowler. Now she's got these 2 uniformed officers in her house. That is just a really stressful situation. She's obviously mentally unwell. So she's doesn't know where to put her hands, right? So she's in the kitchen and they're in her living room, but it's a super small place, one of these like open floor plan, but tiny apartment.
Mm-hmm.
So she's in the kitchen. She's got this pot of boiling water on the stove and they tell her to turn off the stove because they're going to take her outside to talk to her or something, right? I think that the police officers wanted to put cuffs on her because she was acting really erratic. She was obviously in distress. So she picks up the pot.
Yeah, I remember this totally. Yeah.
She picks up the pot of water.
There's video, I think.
Yes, there's a bunch of video because they're all wearing body cameras. So she picks up the pot of water because she's been told, she thinks, to deal with the pot of water, she's going to carry it to the sink. But the officer tells her, put it on the floor. So now she's got these mixed messages, right? She's super stressed out, so she can't think straight. It's so obvious from the video. So she tries to drop, she's going to put the pot of boiling water on the floor, but she crouches down and she tells the officer, she says, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, is what she says to him. Because he's being really fucking harsh and making demands of her.
Yeah.
He's like speaking really harshly.
Yeah.
And so when she says that,
maybe she could have laid off a little on that. You know what I mean?
When she says that,
anything's justified here, but in the name of Jesus,
she, I thought it was reasonable. The guy was being a dick. So.
I obviously it's an inappropriate joke. I admit.
No, it's fine. The guy heard her say that and immediately reacted with violence.
Yeah, he shot her.
And so she died that day as a result of his inability to de-escalate a very easy situation. She was across the room. She was a very small woman who's obviously...
Yeah, the video is so disturbing because this woman is so clearly not a threat.
He is clearly in a position of power, physically and in every other sense.
The worst thing that can happen to him is he's going to get burned. This is the worst thing that can happen.
If she had thrown from her position, if she had thrown the entire pot of boiling water, she would have been scalded and he would have been wet. Because it's boiling water does not travel all the way across a room. It was the most appalling video I'd ever seen of this kind of overreaction. Anyway,
but even if in his own assessment, there was no threat to his life, there was a threat of injury, but there was no threat to his life. So the idea that
no, he would have gotten wet. There's no threat to his.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, even if I'm talking about his own, I'm talking about your rationale or my rationale. I'm saying in the scene, you're in the moment, everything's crazy. Oh my God, that could be a weapon. In his own stupidity, the only thing he could be afraid of, and he can't even understand to what degree, literally, would be a burn. That would be the most he could be afraid of. There's no other threat there.
Yeah.
So,
of course. And what the jury also saw was the aftermath where he didn't bother to render any aid to her whatsoever.
He just killed her.
And he then went out when a bunch of other police officers arrived, because obviously they've got a terrible situation. So a bunch of other troopers or whatever, they arrive. He spends the entire rest of the video pacing anxiously and bad-mouthing her.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't know this person. He's obviously...
Yeah, it was really weird.
He's really, really horrible.
He's calling her a bitch or something like that.
Yes. He was calling her a crazy bitch or whatever.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable conduct. So anyway... I remember this story very well because obviously it was extremely appalling, but he was convicted.
Yes.
So he was found guilty of second-degree murder in October of this year for the fatal shooting of Sonia Massey. And I remember that being a huge win because I'm so sick of these police officers getting away with horrible crimes like that. But I wanted to bring that up because that's usually what happens to people who are schizophrenic and aren't properly medicated, is they are victims of violence because people don't know how to deal with their erratic behavior.
One of my close friends.
But they're usually really scared. They're usually really scared and they usually don't want any trouble and they just want to be safe, That's usually what happens.
A close friend of mine's daughter was killed by police and she was having a mental breakdown.
This is
in
usually
Canada.
So I think disability advocates are really
just a few years ago
are really trying to make sure that everybody always. This is why I'm bringing it up. It's I don't want what happened to the Reiner family and Nick Reiner's mental condition to be twisted into some sort of assumption that people who suffer from schizophrenia are dangerous, because more often than not they're victimized. So I just think that it's important to make that point.
Well, I agree with you, and I mean, I think most. I don't know that there's a big risk of any of that. You know, I think like people when people see people getting to some state of look, you know, this woman that I was dating when she had her psychotic slip, and I was sitting in front of her, I became afraid when she asked me if I was the devil.
Yeah,
That she might,
this is what they provoke
that
in
she
other
might
people.
want to
Yeah,
protect herself from me.
that's right.
That's what it felt like, right? I mean,
Yeah,
in the
totally.
moment, I was like, "Holy fuck!" She's starting to get worried about me
and
being in her apartment.
evidently
right
the same thing happened to the cop where he was like, she's acting really strangely, and instead of de-escalating like I'm supposed to be able to do because I'm a cop, I'm just going to react defensively, right? Like, so I think that's what most of the time these people provoke from others is some sort of defensive attack. But it's like,
Turns out that
it's
she was
unwarranted.
off her meds for most of the time that we were together. Is the point I was trying to make.
She just did well.
And she was just doing well and hanging in there. And she had these moments that I just thought were quirk personality moments, right? Where I was like, you know, she would just,
You're like, wow, you're really creative and
yeah, exactly. A lot
eccentric.
of that. Yeah. So, and fun, frankly. And then, of course, it got to that point where it became rather threatening. So, you know, whatever. But obviously, the point I'm trying to make is that you'll know if something, whether it's a disorder or otherwise, is starting to become a threatening situation. And it really doesn't matter what it is. Like when that happened, yeah, she's telling me about the fly that's recording, and she's telling me about how, like, you know, she's asking me about whether or not I'm the devil. But I forget where I was going with that. But anyway, yeah, it becomes a threatening moment, and when it becomes a threatening moment for me, I just bolt it, right? I'm just going to get the fuck out of there. But anyway, yeah, I mean, most people who are suffering from illness are not going to be any kind of threat to you or to anybody. You know, you're going to be like Margaret Kidder when she had her situation. You remember her? She, you know, they found her like hiding in a bush or whatever.
Yeah, because she was scared. I mean, that's usually what happens. And I think that
I had a friend who had a psychotic incident, and he called me, and he was in that state, in a similar state as Margaret Kidder, really. Like, I mean, I'm guessing, of course, but based on what I've gleaned from her story.
He was hiding. He felt like he was being chased or something.
I mean, he was telling me, he called me, and his manager was in Ireland, and he's calling me at 1:00 in the morning, and he's telling me that he's been drugged and that he's running around without shoes in the middle of the Bay Area, and like, you know, it was just fucking crazy. And
you're like, what am I supposed to? I can't help you.
I called his manager.
LA,
I woke up his manager in fucking Ireland, and I was like, hey, listen, your guy's in a bad way, and I say your guy, he was my friend, you know. But you know, oddly enough, I've seen enough of it around me, and yeah, I mean, most of the time it's like that, you know. I had a friend. I was in a band. I wrote this into a screenplay because it was just too fucking amazing. Of an event to like witness, but I had this, we had this band, and we went to the same high school, or we jammed at the same school. I didn't go to that high school, but we jammed at the same high school as Neil Young, and they're always looking for like the next Neil Young. And so we were like getting a little buzz around our neighborhood.
Neil Young is really funny to me.
You know, like just like a new star out of Winnipeg.
But he's such a weirdo.
Yeah, but not a Neil Young anyway. So they were trying to hook us up with this guitarist, right? Because they like this St. John's High School, they want to like make a new name for themselves, or you know, just show that they like talent pours through them. So they hook us up with this guitarist. This guy had apparently gone through some serious LSD issues and had some big psychotic events. Anyway, he tripped out and he fucking like broke his fucking guitar or whatever. Like after the gig, it was so weird. And then later he's like, come over to my house or whatever. So we go over to his house because he like chills out. And then the teacher's like, he just has these events. They're very rare. He's going to be fine. We're like, okay, he's fine. That's cool. So then we go to his house and we're just hanging out with his house. And his mother is walking around the house, putting down bowls of milk, little bowls of milk.
All around the house?
All around the house. And so I said I go, Roger,
what's up with
your mom's putting bowls of milk all over the house. You have like cats everywhere? What's going on? Because I didn't see any cats or nothing. And he looks at me and goes, oh, no, those are for the ghosts.
The ghosts. Who really, they need strong bones.
So she put up like, milk, food, whatever, dish show, an offering for all the ghosts. And for all I know, she's seeing them, like, for real. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to argue with the fact that she wasn't or didn't or whatever. But I've had a surprising amount of exposure to people with mental disorders or problems
Incredible.
or whatever. And you're 100% right. Not only are they like not violent, but even when I was in that situation where I felt threatened, it was easy to get away. Real easy to get away.
Yeah, right.
Like it was just a cop could have just backed away from her and said, "Hey, put that down."
No, I mean that's another thing.
Work
is, like,
it through.
People that suffer from those kinds of like delusions, like they're not great strategists. Like you can outsmart them.
Anyway, I'm so
because they're
glad.
not really thinking straight.
Yeah. I'm so glad for her that her perpetrator. I mean, I'm so sad that she was killed, and I wish that we lived in a society where people were trained to respond. That's the wrong.
I think that's why he was convicted.
There shouldn't have been a police response. Like there shouldn't have been a police person. Maybe there should have been a policeman outside if shit got hairy.
Oh, so
but there should have been a fucking doctor in there.
She's like, the prowler isn't in here.
Yeah.
Why are you guys talking to me?
Right.
I said there was a prowler outside my house.
Correct.
Can you go check the perimeter and make sure
Right.
I'm safe?
Such a difficult situation.
Yeah.
But in his situation, I'm saying the cop should have been recognized the situation, backed out of it.
Yeah, of course.
Took a spot outside the house, apartment, whatever the resident was, and then got psychological help for this person immediately. That's what should have happened. They should have stepped out and they should have got somebody in there who was like, "Hey, what's going on?" Put down the pot of water or whatever, if that's still an issue. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway.
It wasn't you're totally right. If they had just had a conversation outside, been like, put on your shoes, let's go outside and talk.
We'll step outside.
It wouldn't have been a problem.
It wouldn't have been a problem because, I mean, they're obviously, they knew, they were
also,
fucking armed. They
in the
knew they
video,
were
you can see Sonia Massey is so small.
Yeah, tiny.
It's just absolutely absurd that anybody thought that she could do any harm to them with a pot of water. She's in a pajama. She's in like a one of those thin like house robes. Like she's obviously not like, carrying a weapon or anything.
No. Exactly.
So sad.
Do you want to go to chat?
Yes. So, a scientist also linked there's a different link that said Key recommended reading this Exhibit 3 letter.
Oh, okay. Did you see that whole thing with Brennan Sklar coming out and trying to like do some?
Yeah.
PR?
Well, so what he was talking, Brennan Sklar has been talking about how he made a statement about the film.
And do you want to open that and read it?
This?
Do you want me to?
Yeah, sure. I can do it.
Okay.
He made a statement about the film and got like so attacked in the press that his agent or PR person was like, you know what? Just stay out of it.
STFU, bro.
Just don't talk about
He was
anything.
getting like, the whole, like, I wish you would die. I hope you lose your career,
Exactly. He was like, whoa, this is really fucking toxic and weird.
I've had my share of that shit. So, it wouldn't have been at the rate that he had it and with the hate that he's, that these people can point. Dude, I'm having a ball. Let me tell you something, bro. I gotta share this with you guys. This is hilarious.
I actually can't open that.
Oh, you can't? Well, let me get it for you then.
Oh, here.
So,
oh yeah, I got it. Okay, cool.
Let me share with you some of the stuff that's going on because this is so stupid funny, right?
Oh, okay. This is the quotes. This is really juicy. All scientists.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, let me get to it in a second. Let me just finish what I'm saying and then we can get to that. So, let me see here. So these people, bro. So this guy says to me on.
Oh, are you going to read one of your comments?
Yeah, it's very brief, but
is it? Dale was teaching people today. He was giving them the full dissertations.
Let me see.
Which, they need it. You're doing the Lord's work.
Well, it's just what it is just utterly amazing to me. So this guy says, he says, and we're in this back and forth and he's answering and I'm answering. Okay. On Reddit. As soon as I send, I got it.
I love when that happens when you're arguing with somebody because you're like, hey bro, you want to be friends? Because that's basically what you're doing. You're like, hey, we're like hanging out, sharing a pizza right now. We could just be like doing this over video games.
Maybe not this one, but we're going back and forth with it. This guy is going back and forth. And then all of a sudden, so then he says, let me get to the exact question here. He goes, the question to the jury would be, would a reasonable person feel intimidated by a man slamming his hands in a chair? So this is us. I was talking about Alex Sachs, and I said that she felt physically threatened, and he tried to correct me and say, or she, and tried to say it wasn't threatened, it was intimidated.
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, that's better. You fool.
Okay, we'll use that word and make the same point I'm making.
So anyway, and then I said, look, and then somehow I ended up talking about how, because I honestly like to set them up for the Lyman thing. So I just said, you look, Lyman said that there's evidence that that likely proves, or strong evidence to prove, that there was a smear campaign in his dismissal. And it's just hilarious. Like, this guy's going back and forth. And then this guy says, well, and then this guy, like I said, he asks me for where specifically Lyman said that. And I said, I don't know. I think it's like 119 is the page. Go have a look. Read it. I encourage you, please just go read this thing. Yeah, 119 or thereabouts. Whatever.
And then he was like, no.
He was like, I said, you show me specifically, as if he was trying to call me out for being like not. So I gave him 4. I gave him the usuals, the CRD complaint and article contained numerous messages and domestics and documents strongly suggesting that Wayfarer parties did spread negative stories about Lyman.
These are quotes from Judge Lyman.
These are quotes from Lyman. Lyman said, it is fair to presume that the Wayfarer parties did what they said that they planned to do. Mm-hmm. Another quote was, but these texts can be read to imply that Tagg did tell Wallace to go after Lively on other issues. And then, that's some juicy redacted shit we have not yet seen. And then the Times may have otherwise, my favorite one is actually, given the strength of the evidence in favor of a smear campaign, it is not plausible that the Times entertained serious doubts as to the truth of a smear campaign narrative as a whole. Mm-hmm. Like, that one is just so goddamn damning. Anyway, back and forth. And I dropped that shit on him. Just fucking quiet, bro. Just
he left.
Absolute quiet.
He was like, "Oh, okay, you should."
Which is so. What's interesting about it to me though is what happens now to them. Do you know what I mean? Like like he's back and forth trying to call me out. I'm the stupid. I'm the fool.
No, I'm telling you, dude. It's like some uncle.
But do they not go uncle, like, oh, like there's no epiphany. It's
like somebody's like uptight, angry uncle who's like tapping on the keyboard all day, and everybody lets him because he's horrible to hang out with. But then he had like some obligation to like go to dinner or something, or like attend some kid's recital or something. So he's away from his keyboard. That's what happens. These people are just...
I'm just trying to figure out what happens to them afterwards when I clearly proved my point. And this guy, so I said, what I said was that Alex Sachs said that they were threatened. And then they went to Alex Sachs's deposition and brought the quote to the table, which was that she was intimidated. She remembers it because it was the first time she'd been physically intimidated. Mm-hmm. Which to me is, neither here nor there in terms of difference, but what they did is they actually put the definitions of each of these per Webster, threatened versus intimidated, which is just so stupid.
Webster, the court's not going to use Webster definitions.
It doesn't matter.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, believe me, this person's not, brings no value to the table. But my point is that they went and did the work. Yeah. So when I threw these out, they went to the pages.
Okay. I'm glad. I hope that they fucking learned a thing or two, man. It's like, you're not just making shit up.
I just love it, bro. But it's just amazing how easy they are. It's like bowling. It's just like throwing balls at bowling pins, man.
Okay, so this is what
the latest one, by the way.
Sorry,
before you begin, the latest one, by the way, is so this person makes a post on I gotta tell you this. It's so funny. This person makes a spin on Darvo. It says, no matter how much Blake Lively tries to, no matter how much Blake Lively tries to spin it, we know who's the one weaponizing Darvo.
Oh, right. They're reversing it on her. They're Darvoing her claims of Darvo. It's really, really remarkable.
So then
but they don't recognize that there's a timeline that actually very clearly shows who is the first person to make problems. Right?
Yeah.
She's not making it up. So it's like they leave no room for understanding that when a person is actually being scapegoated and they try to correct the story and tell the truth, that is not Darvo.
Well, what's so stupid about it is that
doing a manipulation tactic.
They're saying the shit, and then I of course show up and I go, well, Jennifer Freyd, I don't know how to say her fucking name, bro. Is it Freyd?
I don't know.
Freyd.
We'll probably see her stated in court, and then we'll know.
Jen J. I'm going to call her Jen J.
Okay.
Because that's her middle initial, J. Jen J, who created the term Darvo, is an expert for Blake Lively. So I tell him that. I'm like, it's funny you should say that. You silly people. And then I tell him that, of course, Jen J is her witness. And their response is, people do anything for money.
Oh my God. Okay. So
They don't even know how that works, by the way, because people like Gen J, what they do is they know these cases. They get, because it's how they make their money. So when they see rich people fighting about this shit, they're like, say what?
I can clarify this for
Well, no,
you.
what they do is they look at the facts and then they pick the side. That's what they do. Like if she, Gen J, if she fucking was like, yo, I've read the documents, I've seen the case, I'm gonna be witness for Baldoni. Do you know what I mean? If it was, because she was gonna be a witness in this case, there's fucking piles of money.
People will do anything for money. Like, you guys, there isn't a single
most ridiculous thing.
There isn't a single fact that can penetrate that thick hide of your defenses. It's just wild to me.
Yeah, I mean, my response was to this person, because I was just like, I just can't believe.
Can I move on to this?
But their response was, yeah, I saw that. I guess everyone has a prize, which is pretty fucking depressing. And then another person said, it's going to backfire on her.
On the professional?
I guess,
on the expert?
I don't know.
It's going to backfire on the expert?
I'm like, how?
Or it's going to backfire on Blake Lively?
I don't know. They didn't specify.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, you can go on.
Okay. I'm sorry. So a scientist sent this. This is really juicy. So did you want to know why the lawyers are fighting?
Sure.
Okay. So in depositions, apparently they were being this snarky, and we've got quotes. Okay.
Great. Let's hear it.
Okay. I guess I'll start. Yeah. So they violated the rules of conduct. Let me just start from the top. Okay.
Would you?
Forgive me if this is like a little bit dense reading. Okay.
It's your first crack at it.
This is written by Ezra Hudson via email to Brian Friedman, Mitch Schuster, and Alexandra Shapiro. Counsel, we write to address the inappropriate and unprofessional behavior that continues to be exhibited by certain counsel for the Wayfair defendants during depositions, including during testimony of out-of-jurisdiction witnesses whose depositions will serve as trial testimony. Specifically, we write to address 1, attorneys' repeated obstructing deposition testimony with speaking objections, as well as a lack of basic decorum through insulting comments, audible crosstalk, and laughter during examination in plain violation of the federal rules of civil procedure, the rules of civility, and rules of professional conduct. And 2, questions concerning Ms. Lively's sexual history and marital relationship in violation of federal rules of evidence. Improper objections and unprofessional conduct. Several counsel for the Wayfair defendants, including attorneys Kim Zeldin and Ellen Garofalo, have repeatedly engaged in improper argumentative speaking objections and insulting comments, despite multiple warnings by counsel for Ms. Lively and other parties, as well as non-compliant instructions not to answer. Counsel shall okay, they're citing precedent. Okay, for example, during the September 12th deposition of Wayfair President Tara Hanks.
Let me clear something for you. An improper speaking objection is when a lawyer makes an objection that includes extra commentary, argument, or suggestions rather than just stating the concise legal basis, often to coach a witness or disrupt the flow of a deposition or trial. These are considered improper because they can influence a witness's testimony, waste time, and violate rules requiring objections to be brief, which require objections to be brief and non-argumentative.
I would be so pissed because you can't take those words back, you know? Like, they're coaching your witness.
I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Thank you. That's informative. For example, during the September 12th deposition of Wayfair President Tara Hanks, attorney Zeldin, who defended the witness, engaged in improper speaking objections, insulted the examining attorney, and improperly instructed the witness not to answer based on relevance and or form. The following are just a few of the many examples of attorney Zeldin's misconduct in the deposition. They're bullet pointed, so here's the first one. In quotes, I would appreciate if you'd ask a decent question.
Wow. It's interesting because I remember hearing some of those kinds of things, but I remember them as soon as you said that. A memory was triggered of hearing Kevin James, who was our attorney in our depositions, say, "I would love you. I'd love to hear a proper question." Mm-hmm. Like, I've heard that.
I would appreciate it. I would appreciate if you'd ask a decent question.
Wild.
The next one is objection as to form. That's not what the document says. Please stop this. This is crazy. And in quotes, I'm very tired of you too. is so unprofessional.
Wow.
That's not what the document says is coaching, for sure.
Yes.
Please stop this. This is crazy. I'm very tired of you too.
Yeah, sanction that. Come on.
Okay, next one is objection as to form. You're asking her to assume 4 or 5 things. No, I will instruct not to answer if you continue to badger the witness. You are, because this witness does not know when the darn article was published. That's coaching.
That's coaching.
This witness does not know when the darn article was published. You're asking her to assume it was published at a certain time. Assume this, assume that. Why are you asking the witness that question? Why? Okay, next one. You've asked this question 5 times. Instruct you not to answer. Go on.
Well, it's weird because the objection of that is asked and answered.
Asked and answered,
Yeah.
not instruct you not to answer. The witness has to keep answering that.
They do. They're required to answer.
Yeah.
And then the judge can make a ruling
Oh my God.
on whether or not the deposing attorney is improper in their questioning.
Okay. You've asked this question 5 times. It's like, okay, well, did they not get an answer? They're trying to get an answer.
I mean, again, asked and answers is the objection, and you answer the question, and it's.
Next one is no, that's not what she said. Objection as to form. Instruction not to answer. Stop this. I've had enough too. I've really had enough. You have asked the same question 10 times. So does this person have an anxiety disorder or something? They've got like a problem with being patient and just letting things play out.
Well, or they're like Leo did this shit too, or they're trying to create arguments to waste time
also,
so that they get fewer questions.
This is interesting. She said, no, that's not what she said. So the objection there is misstates witness testimony.
Correct.
That's not what she said. That's not how lawyers are supposed to talk. Objection.
Yeah, or assumes facts not in evidence.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of different objections that might fit in that category.
I heard that one a bunch in your depositions.
Assumes facts not in evidence was constant.
In addition, during that same testimony, Attorney Zeldin engaged in concerning off-record behavior that has threatened to impact witness testimony. Specifically, Attorney Zeldin openly discussed an exhibit that was previously introduced during Ms. Angst's deposition while in the presence of the witness. Specifically, counsel for the Jones parties examined the witness regarding a social media video that was the topic of discussion amongst the Wayfair defendants in a text thread, which concludes with Ms. Koslow writing, in quotes, "Let us chat to Jed as well on this."
Ooh.
In that video, a woman recounted an incident that she alleged to have had with Mr. Baldoni when she was 19-year-old student. Following introduction and playing of that video, Attorney Zeldin made repeated speaking objections and also improperly instructed her client not to answer. Attorney Zeldin, for example, stated, in quotes, "Objection as to form, instruction not to answer," which is not allowed. On the basis, more of this quote, "On the basis that you're giving her an incomplete hypothetical, where are the rest of your facts? You've established nothing through that video." And, in quotes, "Okay, now I'm instructing you not to answer. You go and talk to the judge about it. You're done." During a break in the questioning, Attorney Zeldin then suggested in front of the witness that the video in question had been created by a drug-addled teenager and openly questioned its relevance as well as the veracity.
You mean like insultingly? Like, what is this, a question, created by a drug-addled teenager?
In front of the witness.
Weird.
The attorney suggested that the video in question had been created by a drug-addled teenager.
Oh, okay.
And openly questioned its relevance as well as the veracity of the questions with respect to the same.
Wow, that is just incredible.
That's definitely coaching. Attorney Garofalo engaged in similar obstructive and insulting conduct during the deposition of another out-of-state witness, Ann Carroll, whose deposition testimony may be used at trial. We don't get to see what they said, though. That's redacted. At one point during Ms. Carroll's testimony during questioning with respect, redacted. The foregoing conduct by Attorney Zeldin and Garofalo violates the court standards with respect to appropriate conduct of court officers, intimidates third-party witnesses, coaches party witnesses, and, worst of all, impacts trial witness testimony. We demand that such conduct immediately cease. Ms. Lively currently intends to move for sanctions based on the foregoing conduct, and, if such conduct does not cease, will suspend the deposition and seek to exclude counsel from further examination. We further write to address questions posed during certain depositions that probe into Ms. Lively's sexual or romantic history, which resulted in objections pursuant to federal rules of examination. They're numbered. Also
You can't
known
just because you're deposing somebody start asking about
known as the rape shield
fetishes.
Listen, it's also known as the rape shield law. So this is when and I know that you're familiar with how awful this goes because it's always used in media when they're talking about how the victim gets victimized by the process of investigation, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, "Oh, well, what were you wearing?" And like, did you?
So you were doing marijuana that night?
Yeah, or like, "Oh, you used to do exactly what the defendant did to you with a previous boyfriend. You seem down with it," or like some absolute bullshit, right?
Didn't you have a teenage pregnancy?
Yeah, exactly, that kind of shit. So they probe into Miss Lively's sexual or romantic history, which also known as the Rape Shield Law is what they're citing.
Yeah.
Federal Rules of Examination. It bars evidence of a sexual assault victim's sexual behavior or sexual history unless its probative value substantially outweighs the risk of unfair prejudice or harm. This rule has been extended to victims of sexual harassment in civil cases too, which is why it's extending to Blake Lively. Miss Lively's sexual and or romantic history has no bearing on the matters at issue in this case, and we will not tolerate such examination, which will be the subject of a protective order and sanctions motion if it happens again. Should counsel for the Wayfair defendants continue to engage in any of the foregoing conduct, we will suspend the deposition at issue and promptly seek guidance from the court and reserve all available remedies. Sincerely, Ezra Hudson.
Ezra.
That is juicy. Well, thanks to Aw Scientist for bringing that to us.
Thank you, Aw Scientist. We love it.
I hope they get their asses. Fuck these people.
I mean, it just sounds so fucked up, right?
I know.
And if I hadn't heard of these things from, well, yeah, they're dicks indeed. So
oh, you didn't like how Baldoni was kissing you, but Miss Lively, you have been kissed before, haven't you? She's like, what? You know?
Yeah. By the way, I guess we should. I guess we could save it till later or talk about it now, which is our like our holiday schedule. I think we're going to not do a live on Christmas Day. Probably shouldn't do one on Christmas Eve either.
I don't know. I'm going to let you decide because I'm down.
Do you want to do a poll? Let's do a poll.
Start
a poll.
Do you know how to create one?
Should we go live on Christmas Eve?
2 polls? We could have the poll all week too. Or I don't know. When is the poll closed?
Start poll.
Do you want to hear from the chat?
Yeah.
Can you do 2 things at the same time?
What do you mean, like walk and chew gum?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw your poll. That's cute.
Oh.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're just asking about Christmas Eve?
For now.
Okay. Are you going to vote in your poll?
I'm not a voter.
Oh, okay. You know how presidents always get their picture taken at the polls when they're voting for themselves?
Oh, and I was saying 25th at night. Oh, you know what I'm doing?
Oh yeah, guys, the new season of Culinary Class Wars just dropped.
If you haven't seen the first season of Culinary Class Wars, then you got a treat. You can just go binge it.
Yeah.
Because the new one's out and they're releasing them in chunks of 4. We're awaiting this new set of 4.
It's a really great Korean cooking show. Where they have like established.
It's all dubbed.
They have like established famous chefs competing against less famous chefs, less established ones.
Yes.
And they have these really discerning judges. It's just great. It's got
the
all
white
the elements.
spoon versus the black spoons.
It has all of the greatest elements of cooking show competition, but also it's very Koreanized. So everybody reacts like that. And they don't overdub it.
It's so great. I love it.
Stop it.
I love it. We do it all over the house now. I love it. Cosmic Emergency, Mrs. Janine Garofalo, and so do I. She had I loved her lips. I just loved her whole way she her lips. I loved her lips.
She's still around, isn't she? Still doing stuff?
Yeah, she's,
Do you want to go to the chat or not?
Yeah.
A scientist said, I very much hate the way that mental health issues are treated as moral failings, especially addiction. They are diseases that can be linked to specific changes in the brain.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Nobody is in charge of their behavior when they've got a mental illness.
It really wasn't until I never really understood the capacity of it until even not just being exposed to it like I was with that woman I was dating, but also just in my own mental health. Like, I had not realized really the extent of the trauma I've experienced in my life and the effects that it's had on my entire existence, and how that eventually accumulated into a really dangerous state of mind. Personally dangerous, but not like dangerous to others, but still, it's really, it's terrifying how much ignorance there is between those who are well and those who are not.
It's just a very easy mindset shift too. I mean, I don't understand why people don't always give people grace when they're acting really out of sorts, right?
Right.
Like I see those videos that people have of like public freakouts, where somebody will like road rage or somebody will have like a fucking freak out at a store or something. And it's so very obvious that the person being filmed is dealing with a mental health crisis.
Right.
Like it's so fucking clear. And
It's
as soon as
very
you
clear.
reframe it like that in your head, you're like, oh, okay, this is a person who deserves compassion and, pity, certainly, for the horrible situation they find themselves in and the amount of stress it's causing themselves and everybody around. It's like, it's not some sort of moral failing. It doesn't make them a bad person because they have a freak out. Like they have some sort of untreated mental problem, obviously. Because
What I'm surprised
if
about
you're
is
mentally
like,
well, you're not like trying to start fights with people. That's just completely dysfunctional behavior,
I'm surprised that the reaction isn't similar to like, if you see somebody who, like cut off an arm, or
Oh yeah, I know.
got hit by a car, or
We're like, oh,
fell down the stairs,
like
or
that
whatever.
person's like freaking out. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, they're bleeding everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it's the same thing.
Like even in my situation with that girl, I was like, I got out of that situation, like I split, but when I split, I was like, what the fuck, and I started calling right away, and there was no answer.
Yeah.
And then I
Right.
spent 5 days trying to get a hold of her until she finally came out, but I felt guilty about it. And I also didn't know what to do. And I think that's a part of the problem, because not only are we not exposed to what it truly is that we're being faced with in terms of this disorder or this mental health condition, but we also don't know how to fucking do anything about it. We don't know how to help. We don't know how to change things. I think that's a big deal.
I don't have all the details. I'm going to bring this to you later, but I can't wait because it feels like it's topical. There's new research that people are starting to narrow into the idea that science needs to expand its understanding of the brain because it's basically a big electronic receiver
Right.
of consciousness.
Yes.
So I'm going to read a few things and bring back some more
That's the best thing.
to lay it on you. But it's super fascinating to think of, so this woman who posted a video of her one of her kids struggled with an autistic sort of overwhelm,
Mhm.
where he was like crying, and the parent was talking about how he has like sensory issues and how he's just really struggling being outside. She had to take him shopping, and it was like too much. And I was like, oh man, like if we all think about our brains as just consciousness receivers, right? Then that person's consciousness receiver in their brain is just turned up too high. Like they're getting too many signals at once.
Might
Like
be.
their bandwidth is just too wide, where all the rest of us deal with like a very manageable bandwidth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the issue. That's all that's happening.
Do you want to hear some of my science stuff?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. One of my favorite, whatever sites where I end up getting a lot of articles in my feed is from SciPost. It's like a psychology, whatever. This headline was an attention grabber. It said, testosterone alters how men respond to unfairness against women.
Tell me more.
New research suggests that a man's hormone levels may alter how he responds to social injustice directed at women. The study indicates that testosterone influences whether men punish those who treat women unfairly, though the effect depends on the woman's physical appearance. These findings appear in the journal Social Scientists and Biologists have frequently debated. In the journal I'm not going to tell you what that journal, I don't know, only they can pronounce what that journal is. It's just an inside journal. It's this is like a 27 letter, 28 letter word. I can't help you with it. It starts with psych. So, okay. Social scientists and biologists have frequently debated why humans punish rule breakers even when the violation does not harm them personally. This behavior is known as altruistic punishment or third-party punishment and involves a bystander incurring a personal cost to penalize someone who has acted unfairly toward a stranger. Evolutionary psychologists propose that this behavior may serve as a social signal. By punishing a bad actor, a man might advertise desirable traits to potential mates. Potential mates. These traits include a sense of fairness, the possession of resources, or a status required to enforce norms.
Oh, it's like silverback gorilla shit.
Is that wild?
Yeah.
So previous observations show that men often act more generously or altruistically when they are in the presence of attractive women. This phenomenon supports the idea that mating motives drive pro-social behavior. However, the specific biological mechanisms behind this remain less clear. Testosterone is a primary sex hormone in men that links closely to mating efforts and status-seeking behavior. It coordinates psychological responses that prepare individuals for competition and reproduction. Researchers have not fully established how this hormone interacts with visual cues of a potential partner to shape justice-related decisions. Obviously, the article goes on and on and on, and it's so fucking interesting. I can post it.
It is really interesting. So we all behave in social situations.
We're just primates, basically.
We're just primates.
Men in particular, we're just primates. We're just, I think we're all hormonally driven. It's a funny thing because if there's ever a common slight on women by men, it's about hormones, right? How many times have we heard it?
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
And here we are. Like
everything you're doing.
Yeah. And then dudes and testosterone is like just such a fucking massive deal. It's always been a massive deal. I mean, anyway, I thought that was a really fascinating little piece. I will put that in today's,
In the show notes?
Show notes. Let me do it right now. Well, I'm here. Live. Boom. Edit. All right.
The Junk Farm said, look, I'm not saying all women are crazy, but I will say that I definitely have a type and sane women do not seem to like me at all.
Who said that?
Junk Farm.
That's fantastic.
I'm not saying all women are crazy, but all the women who would want to be with me are crazy.
I'm just saying I attract the ones that are.
That's funny.
That's hilarious. All right.
Oh, Austin is talking about how there's a conversation in the chat about how there aren't any adequate treatment for addiction as a mental illness.
Right.
And I love this topic. Every time it comes up, Austin says they push AA as a treatment, but it's pseudoscience. How they separate mental health care from mainstream health care. It'll only get better once the treatment of addiction is
actually addressed as opposed
integrated with mainstream.
Yeah, I totally agree with this. A faith-based treatment isn't going to work. Come on. It never does. It never will.
I went looking into this, the AA and why it's so popular.
Yeah.
And it seems to be like still after like 60 years, the only thing that anybody can ever offer for somebody who's struggling.
McGuire swears that it was one of the biggest breakthroughs of his entire life.
Yeah, it's a giant fucking scam.
Yeah.
So they can boast successful numbers, but they're only counting the people who remain in AA. So they literally do not count because they don't have a registry of this, right? Because you just attend a meeting. You can just attend a meeting, but they have no registration of the number of people who attend a meeting, figure out what it's about, and then leave. But apparently, they're estimating, because obviously it's not recorded, but they're saying that something like 95 or 98% of people fail at the AA process. But still, they're the only ones who are ever being credited with doing any recovery work. And I've been to some of these meetings because I have a addiction in my family, and so I've been to Al-Anon meetings. And they're structured very similarly.
I went to one. It's in my book.
Yes, an AA meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was remarkably ineffective and unbelievably it kind of seemed like the whole thing was built on superstition, where everybody just kind of like assumes because they've been through it that they can coach each other, but there's not a single professional in the entire room. And they actually prohibit you from discussing with people and sharing. They say they have this rule that says no crosstalk. So literally all you're supposed to do is show up, tell people your story, and nobody's supposed to comment on it or anything. That's it. And then later on, you're supposed to maybe connect with somebody who can coach you. But there's but it's all just a bunch of rando people. Like there's nobody who's actually running it that has any experience. And this is all that we have to offer people who are struggling with addiction.
That's fucked up, man.
I know. So I found a bunch of other alternatives that nobody has ever, obviously, that's not as popularized. But AA apparently has remained unchanged since like the 1930s. It's just remained like ubiquitous and dominant, and it's totally ineffective pseudoscience.
Deanna's saying AA made her want to drink.
I bet, dude.
I mean, it's a lot of drinking stories, bro. Yeah. You know, it's what she's saying too. But like it's a lot of drinking stories. It's like, and drinking stories to me are like, let's crack one open and make a new one. I don't think I'm an alcoholic, but I used to drink too much.
Yeah, I know. It's difficult to figure out, like, was it alcoholism or was it binge drinking or what? Like,
are they the same and, you know, different?
They're not. I mean, I think that there's like irresponsible drinking is a different behavior pattern than alcoholism is a chemical dependency where like you wake up and you have to, or sometimes you even wake up in the middle of the night feeling sick and you have to have alcohol, you know? So that's very different.
I have more. You want more?
Yes.
Macaulay Culkin has finally put to debate something that needs to be sorted, because I've always felt this way. And so I've got Macaulay Culkin's back on this one. Here's what he says. He says that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
What?
No. And I agree with him.
What the fuck does he know about it?
Yeah, no, he's right. He's saying if it were St. Patrick's Day, it would be the same fucking movie.
You know what I mean?
Christmas is the time, but it's not about Christmas. It's not a Christmas movie. Yeah. It just happened during Christmas.
So he's saying that there's any distinction?
Yeah, I'm saying I agree with him. He's saying it's not a movie because you could have replaced Christmas with anything. A Christmas movie, you can't replace Christmas with St. Patrick's Day, but you could have replaced this with St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, but nobody did replace
Easter.
It. It's still Christmas.
So it happens during Christmas, but it's not a Christmas movie.
Yeah, that makes it a Christmas movie.
No.
That you could replace it with something is interesting.
No, a Christmas movie.
However, nobody has, and so it remains a Christmas movie.
No.
No?
No.
Someone has replaced the Christmas in Die Hard with something else?
It's not a Christmas movie because a Christmas movie...
You're making him tremble.
A Christmas movie has to... You gotta like hold him up and show everybody a little...
He's been showing himself. You know what I mean? It's a Christmas movie. You know what I mean? He knows.
Macaulay's right about this, bro. You could have replaced Christmas with anything, and then therefore it can't be a Christmas movie. Like A Miracle on 34th Street doesn't work if it's Easter. Okay? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer doesn't work if it's fucking Halloween.
You're saying
Maybe it does, actually.
As if it's not a movie that's already been filmed and exists as a movie that takes place on Christmas.
No, that's irrelevant. What's relevant is whether or not the story is a Christmas story.
It is a Christmas story.
No,
because
it's not.
It takes place on Christmas.
It's not a Christmas story. It's not.
Look.
This is a lie that has been going on for far too long. It just happens at Christmas.
This dog isn't familiar with Ellen.
Scrooged is a Christmas movie.
Why are you upset? Is it cold in here? What's happening?
You know, It's a Wonderful Life is a Christmas movie.
Okay, I know. Yeah.
And I won't hear any more of it. I got more. You want more?
Yeah, give it to me.
Did you hear about this perfect plastic?
Perfect plastic?
Yeah. Scientists may have developed perfect plastic. Plant-based, fully saltwater degradable, zero microplastics, made from plant cellulose.
Fantastic.
The world's most abundant organic compound. Unlike other biodegradable plastics, this quickly degrades in salt water without leaving any microplastics behind.
Fuck yes. Let's fucking go. I
don't know why they're using the language may have. The internet's pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. I love that. There's a bunch of other people who are like, they make plastic out of different labs are like making it out of seaweed, you know, which is a really abundant self-rejuvenating resource. There's also I saw these there's a company in Mexico that's making leather out of cactus, and it looks exactly the same, and apparently it has the same exact.
Does it smell the same?
It probably doesn't smell the same. I wonder if it would smell like agave or something, or even better, you know?
It's not agave. Research is led by Satsuko Eda at the Riken Center for Emergent Matter Science in Japan. Fucking Japanese, bro. Mm-hmm. They're relentlessly trying to improve the human position.
They're on the cutting edge. I love it.
have one-upped themselves in their quest to solve the microplastic problem. In a recent study published in the Journal of the American Chemical Society, they report a new type of plastic made from plant cellulose, the world's most abundant organic compound. The new plastic is strong, flexible, and capable of rapid decomposition in natural environments, setting it apart from other plastics marketed as biodegradable. Microplastics are a global contaminant found in nearly every ecosystem from the... Imagine that. No more microplastics in our testicles.
That would be amazing.
So that's exciting news, man. We'll see how it develops, but hopefully, because I got to tell you, I go through existential crisis when I go to grocery stores.
You go to a grocery store and you look around and you're like, there's so much goddamn plastic.
I freak out.
Every time I go to Trader Joe's
when I'm walking
and I see how the bell peppers, which are pretty much packaged.
Oh, that's not my problem.
How the bell peppers are wrapped in plastic.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, or like when you see like the styrofoam with a banana in it and plastic wrap over it, you're like, ah.
No, that bothers me, but like, what
it's already wrapped.
What drives me so crazy is when I see people putting all the plastic bags in the back of their cars.
Yeah, like double plastic.
And I hear it and it just it's all like, I start hearing it. I go through shit. I'm like, I'm not kidding you. I'm just like, I think plastic grocery bags are like the absolute worst thing that ever happened. They go through tens of thousands of them in every location constantly.
You know where
it's just absolute like weird, horrible pollution. I hate it.
Just to be clear, I feel the exact same way as you, but I always want to poke fun at myself because I'm like, oh man, like we are the worst, like most woke. Like it's like one of the easiest sort of concerns to tease somebody about is like, oh, you hate plastic bags. Fucking hippies, you know?
A hunger monitor out there is saying that Gaza is no longer in famine, that the food is getting through.
Oh, is that why? Or is it because...
I'm just telling you what they're saying.
Is it because the famine has ended?
I don't want to... no, no. That's so dark. Absolutely not. According to the United Nations... Let me allow ads real quick here. According to the United Nations, there is no longer famine in Gaza. A global hunger monitor said on Friday that after access for humanitarian and commercial food deliveries improved following a fragile October ceasefire in the war between Israel and Palestine. That's a hilarious way to put it. The latest assessment by the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification comes just 4 months after it was reported that 514,000 people, nearly a quarter of Palestinians on the Gaza Strip, were experiencing famine. A finding rejected by Israel. The IPC warned on Friday that the situation in the enclave remained very critical, despite that the food chain's opening up. So look, it's progress. It's a good thing. It's worth smiling about, even if.
Who's responsible?
Well, the so-called peace, right, is responsible.
No, but I mean, the food was being blocked, and now the food is
not being blocked,
able to enter.
Yeah, so all the different organizations who were bringing food to Palestinians, that food was being blocked. Yeah. There were videos. It was crazy. They were showing it being completely thrown away or like burned. And
yeah, it was horrible. But they have relented on the blocking.
Yeah, well, they're still under the ceasefire. So under the ceasefire, they have access now.
God.
So they're getting food to the people. The people are eating. It's good.
Hinata said, sorry, this is off topic.
Yeah.
Hinata said, as if it's normal for your boss to be slamming his chair next to you and calling your name while having a discussion and disagreement with you.
Yeah, that's absolutely absurd. And the idea that somebody wants to try to differentiate intimidation from threatened in that situation.
That Justin Baldoni can behave like, can yell her name and slam his hands down onto a chair loudly, right?
Right, next to a petite woman.
She's so small.
Yeah, she's petite.
You can... You know what Justin Baldoni's height is because you can just look that up.
He's 6'2".
Right.
He's 6'2", and he's lean.
He's super muscly. Yeah. And then this lady, you see her on red carpets, right? Because she's made a bunch of films, and she is always in the highest platform shoes, and she's the shortest of everybody.
Yeah, she's just a little blip. So that he would not even be sensitive to the fact that his behavior might intimidate her is, to me, is telling of his situation. So. Anyway.
The Junk Farm said, it's funny how they never bring the definition when they excuse Lively of extortion. Extortion. That's really funny.
Yeah, I know.
You're like, oh, you want to define, what was it that they were trying to define? Oh, her, intimidation versus threatening. And you're like, cool, define extortion.
Well, the funny thing about that is, of course, that it was thrown out.
Yeah,
I mean, there was no such thing as extortion. It amazes me to watch these people and to see and witness these people clinging to this ridiculous shit.
Cosmic Urgency said that the pre-sales for the movie Marty Supreme have broken records for A24.
I told you they could put out a movie, bro. Like, I ain't joking.
Does anybody know what that movie's about?
It's about a guy named Marty, I guess.
It's
a comedy. It's a comedy. It's going to be between him and Leo are nominated for Best Actor in a Comedic Performance or whatever for a Globe. We haven't gone over the Golden Globes. You know who else got nominated for a Golden Globe? Charlie Hunnam.
Oh, for
Ed Gein.
Ed Gein Monster.
Yes, he did. You know why? Because it's a damn fine performance, people. It's not perfect, but it's really good. And I condone the nomination, even if the Golden Globes are shite.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll win.
Probably not. He's up against some seriously stiff competition.
The movie The Housemaid, apparently Taylor Swift has a song in it.
Oh, yeah?
Lucky them.
Yeah. Yeah, wait, Brendan Sklar is in
that's according to Cosmic Urgency. Oh, yeah. That's interesting. So Blake Lively, apparently Brandon Sklenar said that Blake Lively put in a good word for having him cast. Yeah. And then it worked. He had the meeting and he nailed the meeting because he's so charming. And then they cast him. And then all of a sudden Taylor Swift's song is in the movie. Apparently some are saying that he's bland in it on the end with lawsuits. They're saying, some critics are saying he's bland in it. Of course he's bland. True. That's what he does. That's his whole thing.
Yeah, he's not a fucking...
Some women...
Jim Carrey.
Women are interested in bland.
Especially when it looks like that.
Yeah.
Give me bland all day. I'll have bland in my coffee.
They're like, oh, you're not overly emotional about anything? Sweet.
So yeah, Brandon Sklar, he also, we talked about him opening up against the backlash. And I guess that's why, because he's now going to, promote this movie. And so, I guess he's trying to come out as Switzerland in this. He's trying to say, I wasn't saying anything about anybody specifically. I'm just saying it's a damn shame. Fuck Justin Baldoni. Tanner's with us. Yeah, what's up, T? Said that Tanner won't be around Christmas Eve or Christmas if we do a live. Oh. Hinata was saying do a live on the 25th at night. Yeah, if we do Christmas we'll definitely do Day. Christmas night. I told Dale that we should open Christmas presents on the live. It's just like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. It is a stupid idea. It'd be too weird for me because it's like, it's not, we also have like 3 presents and be like, okay. All right, cool. Now what? And also, like, I don't know how these mics would pick up. Like, I'll show my presents and I'll read my first paragraphs like I do traditionally, like we do traditionally. We'll wait till read our first paragraphs until we go live on Christmas night. If we go live on Christmas night, that's the next question. All right, I'm going to end this poll right now. 62%. We have 8 voters. How many likes do we have? Do we have 8 likes? 62% say yes. 38% say no. So I'm going to end the poll in 60 seconds. If you want to vote on whether or not we should go live on Christmas Eve, vote now. You have to vote right now. Yes or no. It's anonymous. I can't see you. I just saw you do that, bro. You did that. No, I'm kidding. Lie. Somebody's like, oh. I talk about the gut a lot on this live, and I'm going to continue talking about it because gut health to me is going to be the biggest medical revelation of all time. And I got a new one for you. It's called weight gain, single-handedly prevented by a gut microbe. What? Yeah. No way. Listen to this. Researchers have homed in on a single gut microbe that acts to prevent fat gain, even with a high-fat diet. The discovery adds to the booming science of finding ways to enlist the microbes that already live in our bodies to help us improve health. It's been known for some time that our gut microbiome, the collection of bacteria, viruses, fungi, and other microscopic critters living in our intestines, can influence weight gain or loss, but narrowing down exactly which members of this microbial community, which members of this microbial community do what, can take some time to tease out. That's because microbes can blah, 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 whatever. Where the fuck is the meat, bro? Fatty feedback loop.
You got to read these things in advance.
I did. I was trying to forget where the...
All scientists is saying, Dale, it already is that the gut-brain axis is a major area of research right now, which is why you're seeing all this stuff.
Yeah, I know it's clear, but I'm just saying, like, I know I'm not doing anything. I'm just a guy, I'm not saying anything. I'm not the guy. I'm not coming up with anything. The apple didn't fall from the tree and me go, that didn't happen. That's not what happened. Do I sound like I just believe that that's like, this is like, I don't think that that's what's happening with the people. Do you know what I mean? Like, people are out there eating Taco Bell, bro. Like, if you know this, you're not going to eat Taco Bell. If you know this about your guts, if you start learning the kind of damage that you do to your guts when you're eating things like Taco Bell, you won't eat it. You won't. But it's devastating. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not going to point out the microbe because it's not like we can go find it. Where's that microbe? Oh, there it is. Hey, there we go. No fucking fat for me. But there's a microbe. They think it's going to potentially revolutionize weight loss and also just weight balance in people. I hope that, because it might be one that can work with high fat diets. It doesn't mean that people are going to be like, great, all I'm going to do is eat like pork belly and
what sucks is that there's like so much research about how great it is to have like specific bacterias doing battle in your guts to keep you healthy. And then like there's this whole contingent of the population who's like these granola moms who are like super into like herbalism and home remedies and stuff.
Yeah.
But all that it's like they take this immense, incredible healing knowledge and all they do is they drink raw milk and call it a day. It's so disappointing. Like what we should be doing is like having little laboratories where we culture this like specific bacteria and then like, offering it to people for their health and longevity,
Yeah.
But instead everybody's just like chugging spoiled milk because they don't want to do any of the work to understand how it works and what specifically we want.
My last thing for this evening. Lawrence Fishburne wins the inaugural James Earl Jones Voice Acting Lifetime Achievement Award from the Society of Voice Arts and Sciences.
I didn't know that he was even a voice actor.
Lawrence Fishburne?
What has he done?
Are you kidding me, bro?
Are
you kidding me?
I guess I'm kidding you.
No, I don't know. Let's find out.
I mean, for
I like his
a
voice,
lifetime of achievement, I feel like I should. I mean, I know him as an actor.
Well,
but
my question to you is who should be getting it? If it's not, like forget about him or whatever. Like I like him and everybody does, but who should be getting the Lifetime Achievement Award that you can think of for voiceover work?
Andy Serkis?
Certainly James Earl Jones is the God, the King, Andy Serkis is a good one. Let's hear from the chat too on this one if you guys know.
Andy Serkis and also Alan Tudyk. I don't know how to say his last name. Tudyk.
Okay.
He is an incredible voice actor in a bunch of movies and books and shows and everything. Animated series. But yeah, Andy Serkis for sure, because he's a chameleon. Who else?
Eddie Murphy?
Yeah, probably. Also,
probably.
Doesn't everybody totally love the guy that played Luke Skywalker? What's his name?
He is amazing, Mark Hamill.
Yeah, so he plays villains a lot, right?
He's amazing.
So
his
Hamill.
Arkham Asylum Joker was just transcendental. It really was. I mean, it was just like
transcendent.
Transcendental. Sounds like a fucking airline. It was transcendent. It was though. It was brilliant. It was that good. Yeah, I don't know which ones he's done, bro. I don't know. Anyway, he won it. But Mark Hamill, Eddie Murphy, he's unobvious. I mean, for sure. What about Shrek?
Do they still get nominated for this if I find them annoying?
Robin Williams?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, him too. Well, you kind of was just doing Robin Williams the whole time. He wasn't really like doing much with his voice.
You don't think you should get the legendary? What about Matt Groening? Forget about the whole Jeffrey thing for the moment.
Oh yeah, right. Some of the Simpsons actors, like
What's his name? What's his name? You know who I'm talking about from The Simpsons. Come on. What's his name? The Big Mahuff.
I'm blanking right now.
He did all the guys.
Yeah, any of those guys.
Josh Lucas for Home Depot commercials is hilarious. I worked with Josh Lucas.
Josh Lucas for the Home Depot commercials never stops upsetting me. Every time I see a Home Depot commercial and it has this effeminate,
Home Depot.
He's like an effeminate villain who's trying to tell you to go to the Home Depot.
Home Depot.
So strange. Every time I see one of those commercials, I'm like, wait a second, who is the demographic for this ad? Because it's certainly not Home Depot customers.
Home Depot. I worked with Josh Lucas. I write about it in the book, actually. I don't write about him.
Weird.
But he was in the Marissa Ryan short that I was in.
That's neat. Was he nice?
I loved him, yeah. He was really great.
I don't know why he got that job.
He was
the Home Depot job.
In the oddest place, man. I went to go see my mom and dad in Winnipeg. I don't know, it was 2016 or 2017, maybe 2018, something like that. And I'm standing in the fucking airport in Winnipeg, and I'm like, Josh Lucas? And he was like,
what the hell are you doing in Winnipeg? Was he just like transferring? Like catching a different flight?
End poll. I'm going to add this last poll. I'm going to ask you guys to go and really quickly.
Oh, you want to know the results?
I got the results.
Okay.
Yeah, just posted, right?
Yes.
All right.
67%, an overwhelming majority says that we should go live on Christmas Eve out of 9 votes.
All right. Should we go live Christmas night? Should we?
No, we're not staying for this poll.
Go live. This is only going to take a second. Christmas night.
My phone battery is dying.
Yeah. So is the earth, but we'll it's going to last long enough for us to get through it. Okay. All right. Start poll. Ladies and gentlemen, please answer. Should we go live Christmas night on this poll? You guys decide.
The 25th.
What is HOR? What does that mean? Josh Lucas says HOR. Whore. Whore? Whore? What does that mean? Whore? What does that mean? Anyway, I like Josh Lucas. He was really cool. He was like, I was very new into Hollywood when I met him and worked with him. And he found out I was a Canadian. And so one day he comes in where I'm hanging around. We're hanging around Jeremy Sisto's girlfriend's house, Marissa Ryan's apartment, and Meadow Sisto's. And we're all just sitting around, and Josh Lucas is there, and he goes, "You're Canadian, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "How much is $25,000 Canadian in American?" And I was like, "I don't fucking know. Why?" And he said, "Because he just got his residual check from Alive." Did you ever see that movie?
Oh, yeah.
I did not know he was in it, bro. I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Oh, yeah." He's like, "I just got this huge, fucking check, and I just don't know what it's worth because it's $25,000 Canadian."
I'll take it to a bank.
And I was like, it's not great.
Why are you sitting on it?
I was like, it's probably about 70%. You probably lost about 30% of it. Isn't that funny though? But he was in Alive. Did you know that he was in Alive?
No, I don't remember the cast.
I think he got Ed early.
He became lunch.
Yeah, I think he might have been one of the first whores divorce of the whole situation. If you haven't seen that movie, that was a spoiler. So far, we have 5 votes, and it's overwhelming yes on Christmas night. So
well, looks like you got your work cut out for you.
I was like, I guess we'll just take those 2 off. No, you guys aren't gonna be good with that. All right,
slave drivers.
Slave drivers. All right. What else we got? Anything else?
I brought all my conspiracies.
Before you go, don't forget to like the live, if you don't mind. Even if you didn't like it.
This one's not going to be back.
Just doing us a favor. What?
This one's not going to be back. This is his.
Yeah, that's Queso. We call him Cheese Dog.
He's leaving on Sunday.
His owner calls him Queso.
He's going back home.
But we call him Cheese Dog. What's up, Cheese Dog?
He's very attached. Shall we?
Some weird YouTube guy announced that JB had won the case.
Oh, really? This just in? Well, pack it up, guys. You heard it there first.
Trump Kennedy Center. Oh, yeah. Did you hear about that? They called it, they're changing the name to the Trump Kennedy Center.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then one of the committee members.
Care about this?
Huh?
Every day I'm
I
asking,
forgot
why
about
the
that.
fuck does he care about any of this?
Trump Kennedy Center. Yep. They unveiled it.
It's in gold, isn't it? It's all gold. He's gonna turn everything fucking gold.
I just want to remind you, if I can, let's see if I can real quick. Oh, by the way, there's a the Marshall Islands.
I don't know.
You never heard of them?
It's just so random.
They have people.
I can't keep up. What do you mean?
The Marshall Islands. It's like a place. It's
Okay.
like I guess it's a country. They or some kind of territory, but they're.
What are you gonna say about the Marshall Islands now?
Yeah, they're
the Kennedy Center.
First,
the Marshall Islands. It's like
first country to roll
it's like
out.
I'm on a quiz show.
First country to roll out UBI.
Oh, doesn't Alaska have UBI? I think a lot of places. I think a lot of places have UBI.
Well, according to the article,
there's probably not a lot of economy on the
it's
Marshall Islands.
Listen, I'm not an expert. According to the article, okay, they said it was like among the first.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Let's go there. Do they have good internet?
I can't find it. It doesn't matter. Oh, look, there's an astrologer that says like somebody's going to fall from power in March.
Yeah.
So I have all my hopes and wishes. That's all I have to say.
I know, it's all I keep thinking
I have all
about.
my hopes and
could be bad though.
wishes.
It could be like something we don't want to happen. Like this is the thing. It's like it's super dicey. There is absolutely no there's no planetary combination or aspect or any of these things that you read in astrology that is all good or all bad. It's always just like a way of trying to balance duality. Right. So like there's always a bad thing and a good thing that happens as a result of everything. And that's where our free will comes into play, so like obviously the astrology affects all nations, but every nation can choose to do what they will with the influence,
For
so
sure.
like I keep thinking like, oh, it's going to be great for us. Could be really bad. I don't know.
Well, it's just like lottery tickets. Oh shit, I forgot to get lottery tickets. 1.5 bill.
Well, it was going to be yours.
It was going to be mine, and I forgot to get it. Fuck. I knew it when I was driving home. I was like, I'm forgetting something because I never buy lottery tickets. But anyway, if any of you guys win the 1.5 bill, would you please finance the live?
Just for a little bit.
If you don't know, and you're not in America, America has a lottery that's $1.5 billion.
Do you know why? It's because it isn't actually a lottery.
Yeah, because lotteries are supposed to win.
Because lotteries are you're supposed to have a drawing and someone is supposed to win. Yeah. But in America, everything is a scam. Everything is a scam. So what happens is they have the lottery drawing and they'll be like, whoop, well, guess nobody won this time. We're just going to roll it over to next time. You fucking idiots are going to buy more tickets and make the price go up.
It is weird that,
so stupid.
That all of the numbers purchased aren't put in the draw.
Yes.
Like you would like 50-50
If
tickets.
it's a lottery, there must be a winner.
No,
you keep drawing numbers until somebody wins.
The question would be, how do you do that? And instead what they do is they have these random numbers, right? They give you a 1 in 350 million chance at winning. But by what you're talking about, that would be where each lottery ticket number is entered into the draw.
Yes.
And then one of those gets selected as a whole.
Makes sense.
Like a 50-50 ticket. You
have joined the lottery by buying your ticket. And so you are put in a pot and your number gets selected. But that's not how they do it.
Super Lotto, Angela. It's Super Lotto.
It's such a
you don't know what
scam.
You're talking about. It's Super Lotto. I do have one more thing. Can I just do it real quick? Scientists have found a way to reboot vision in adults with lazy eyes. A new mouse study shows that briefly and reversibly anesthetizing, oh God, the retina of the ambly, eye for just a few days can restore the brain's visual responses to that eye, even in adults.
Oh, that's cool. So what they do is they just turn it off and turn it on again?
They turn it off for like days. Like they turn it completely off for days and then they turn it back on. It's like, hey, everybody, you're no longer looking in two directions.
What's really fascinating about eyes and how we see is that it's all made up. Everything that we see is a construction in our brain of like energy.
You're gonna throw me to a fucking crisis.
No, but so this
Did you just stop?
That's how vision works. So it totally makes sense that they would be like, oh, this eye has stopped working, but it's got all its parts. Why don't we just turn it off a little bit and then refocus the brain's ability to access it?
When one eye is deprived of vision early in life, it can lead to amblyopia, a condition more commonly known as lazy eye. That happens because, I don't know if I said that right, and if I didn't, I made it sound pretty cool, so whatever. That happens because a lack of input disrupts the synapses formation in the brain's primary visual cortex, weakening the vision in that eye. In 2016, researchers found that temporarily numbing both retinas could reverse vision loss from amblyopia, while a follow-up study in 2021 showed that numbing only the non-amblyopic eye could also improve vision in the weaker eye. This method is like the treatment used for children, which involves patching the healthy eye. These findings have been verified in adult animals of different species. So a new mouse study by neuroscientists at MIT's Pekauer Institute shows that briefly and reversibly anesthetizing, the retina of the amblyop eye for just a few days can restore the brain's visual responses to that eye, even in adults. The results strengthen the idea that temporarily numbing a retina can help rebuild the weakened neural connections in the amblyopic eye. Wouldn't it be cool if, like, that's how they took care of, like, short-sightedness? Is that what I have? Is that what we get when we get 50 or 60 or whatever?
It's you become short-sighted because you know, you've got this tool, right, which is your eyeball.
Yes.
That your brain sees through.
I understand.
Right. So your eyeball gets a little distorted inside. It's an equipment failure is short-sightedness.
Yeah. Well,
farsightedness is
reboot it. Can't do a reboot.
No, I mean you'd have to change it's a structural problem.
Anybody that you know with a lazy eye, there's like hope for them if they don't like it. Some people make a living off of it in Hollywood and stuff. You know?
My sister has that. She had a toxoplasmosis when she was a kid.
I thought about it.
So that's interesting that you say that it's, especially if it occurs as a weakness in early development. So when she was a child, her eyes were infected, and then not infected. I mean, it's like
whatever the
systemic
issue.
infection.
Yeah.
And then she ended up with eye and vision problems.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to send her this and see whether she could get the treatment done. I mean, I don't think she cares. It's like part of her identity now. So I'm sure she's fine.
I bet you she'd be glad to have both eyes looking in the same direction.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, it's time to go. I got a blazing headache again, man. I got acid gut or whatever.
Because you went too hard.
No, I ate tomatoes. Can't eat tomatoes. It's bad for me. You guys are just so brilliant and wonderful, and thank you for making this so much fun. We'll be back again on Monday. We're going to take a couple days off. And yeah, according to your votes, we're also working on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Well, we're just having a Christmas party on the live. That's all.
It's true. I don't mean by working, but you know.
I need to decorate.
It's some work. It's work. It's fun work. Love you guys. See you guys tomorrow. Oh, Monday. See you Monday?
Yeah.
I'll see you tomorrow.